now that the audio's taken care of.
Yeah, good catch on that.
I was wondering because there's no way you're using a condenser mic with that unless you got the gain all the way up.
No, I figured that out a while ago.
You're good, man.
You're streaming to Twitter, right? You want to give me the Twitter and I'll retweet it?
You got a are you live right now? YouTube is.
Oh wait, I can open this.
Yep. No, we're bleeding through. There you go.
What's up, guys?
I was really good. What are you trying to figure out for audio? That you could just turn it on in StreamYard. Really good. It's season, so I'm busy during the day. So, muted. Dom G says you're mute. Says Goat is mute. I hear him. You guys hear me?
I hear him.
I hear him.
There we go. How about there we go. I had the wrong box checked. Awesome. Great start to the stream.
We got to stop using the free versions, guys.
Yeah. Shut that up.
We got to stop using the free versions. I just tell everybody like
that's my favorite 4-letter word. All right.
Yeah.
It's not the one I use most often, but it is definitely my favorite 4-letter word.
Killing me, just killing me.
That's
but
all
no,
right.
it's the season, so it's busy, and
oh yeah,
I got home like 5 minutes before, so all good to go. Just typical weekends for me, nothing crazy. So what about you, Crute? What do you got?
I sold the last of my 30 series GPUs.
Ooh.
So we're at about 95 I sold in the last 2 months.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm basically,
nice.
I have a few left on Wart, but I'm basically 30 series free.
Nice. 30 series free. Sounds like you just got rid of that STD. What about you, Goat?
Man, I've been very humbugged this season, and I finally bit the bucket, and I went out there and put up lights and put up a bright shiny laser thing on the house, and trying to get a little bit in the Christmas spirit. I've not been in the Christmas spirit, but why not? 3 days before Christmas, I'll get out there and put some shit up.
Yeah.
Fucking. Yep. And then I was shooting a video about this new laser engraver that I got. So my freaking basement smells like a campfire. Like I've been cutting all this wood and shit with the laser and getting B-roll and trying to put that all together so I can get it out tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a busy day. Been a busy week. This week has been a week full of Mondays at work.
Nice.
It is like end of month, end of year, salespeople doing salespeople things, pulling you into every little opportunity, trying to get, squeeze the last dollar out of the rock. And it's just,
that's why Wednesday Christmas and Wednesday New Year's are the best, because people just won't work. And it just gets to a point where even the people who are forcing you to work can't get anything done because everyone's like, nope, I'm done. So when you can take like 4 days of PTO and get 2 weeks straight off, nobody works.
Yeah,
I
pretty
love
much. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's a good way to put it. Yeah. Oh, man.
Nice.
So what's going on with the markets today? I haven't even looked at it. What are we at? 96,000, 97,000 for Bitcoin?
It looks like it's around that. Yeah, it is around that. I haven't seen any real movement with anything. It's kind of just that little bit of stagnation in the market, but I'm hoping that we're going to see some movement really soon. So
Caspa's down to 11 cents. I'm looking at my market chart right here.
Somebody was telling me support at 9, and I was like,
"Oh, that's rough."
Bloody Christ! I was like, Jesus, like 9 cent support line. That is crazy.
So 9 cents puts me back negative from all of the first generation Caspa ASICs I bought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens getting into the new year. Listen, it's the holidays. Everybody sells off right now. They, pay for Christmas and stuff. Like I was on Newsmax the other day and they're like, why is the market down, crypto guy? And I'm like, guys, it's everywhere. Like
Love it.
Everybody's selling right now. It's just what happens at the end of every year. People liquidate assets, they buy stuff with it, but watch after the new year is where it's really gonna, mid to late January, we're gonna see like it's gonna take off on a Falcon heavy, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I hope so. I need it. That's for sure. I think a lot of us do. This has been a rough bear market.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's already starting to show signs of life.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but has it really been that rough of a bear market? Like I'm talking in terms of like a GPU miner. They told us that there would never be any profitability for 2 years. And I feel like that's not true. Like even with the market the way it is, my farm is still profitable at 13 cents kilowatt hour. I mean, it's not that profitable, but it's not negative.
Well, are you spec mining?
No.
What are you mining at 13 cents, Groot?
Well, I mean, it depends if you call it spec mining. Like I'm mining Ergo, Leo, and Zealous, and Ergo, Leo, Zealous, and Warthog on the GPUs.
Nice. Are you doing that just? Obviously, you can't do it all together, but you're doing that on just breaking it out because I can tell you now, like Ergo mining is not profitable at 5 cents. It's not. So I mean, how do you, unless you got some really good overclocks and some extreme efficiency coming out of those GPUs, I want to know. And so will everybody in chat.
So, all right. So when Ergo was like $1.85, it was profitable. So right now I'm technically losing money on Ergo, which is fair. But like, I just feel like it's going to, if Ergo hits like $4 or $5, then I'm golden. Like I needed to hit like 25% of its all-time high, so it's not like I have high standards for it.
Yeah, Ergo's a sleeper project I've been talking about for a while.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then like Zealous, I have 170 HXs, so I'm profitable on that. I was profitable on that at $5. So
what if you don't mind me asking, what are you making like per GPU on those? What you said 75, 8? What GPUs you have on Zealous?
170 HX, the CMPs, right?
The CMP cards, right?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what are those profitable after power?
I'll tell you right now. I haven't checked this weekend. I'll tell you right now.
So I heard a lot of people were buying these like the CMP cards recently. They're like a hot commodity right now. Everyone's wanting to buy them,
and they're cheap. They haven't gone up in price, which is pretty amazing. I'll tell you how much I am making right now. 47 cents a GPU per day. If I were to sell,
I'm assuming you got 8 on a.
No,
rig.
I have 36 of them right now.
You have 36 of them. All right, so you're doing okay. You're doing about what, 15, 16 bucks a day.
Yeah, I mean,
not
but
bad.
like I'm holding though. Like I'm not selling with it yet because
right.
I just think like if it goes up to I don't know $16, it was worth it.
Right.
So.
Not bad, man.
Yeah,
I think
and then
altcoin season's gonna come.
Leo is weird because I have like 140 series rig, and no matter how low a Leo is, it stays profitable. It makes maybe like $1 a day on the entire rig, $1.50. But when you write off power, you get a little more out of it. I mean, it's not like it's great, but it's not like it's worth turning off, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a Leo's gonna be gonna be one of those when those ASICs get announced. You're gonna see a nice ASIC pump, and that's when you should definitely take some profits, in my opinion. When those Aleo ASICs come out, it's gonna be wild. When they're coming out, I don't know, but what I do know is that Ice River and Bitmain are getting ready for the next generation Kaspa ASICs, and they are going to be crazy.
So I have a question for you, Hawk, on that. So many people have been burned by Casper ASICs. Like basically, if you weren't like the first 2 or 3, like the first generation, maybe the second, you got burned. Casper moves less. It feels like Casper moves less than like USDT, right? Like it just stays where it's at. Do you think people are gonna buy the new Casper ASICs?
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are people in the Kaspa community, man, that you just cannot convince you just can't change their mind. And I had a guy, he just bought 20 KS5 Pros, about a month ago, and I said to him, I'm like, hey, like, what's your angle here? He just, oh man, I'm really bullish on it, and I think it's gonna do great. I said, you understand there might be a new generation coming out, because I don't, look, I'm not going to be that guy that sells you something and it's like, why didn't you tell me what you heard? I'm honest with everybody. I could have did double the sales if I wasn't honest and just a scumbag salesman. And he says, oh, when those come out, I'll buy those too.
Yeah, like, do you feel, I'm sure it feels awkward for you when you're kind of like, you shouldn't buy these even though I'm going to make money off this.
I've talked to people, well, not really, because we're a hosting company, so I don't have to make, we don't make a lot of our money or enough to make a difference really with the ASIC sales in comparison to hosting. So like, it's more of a courtesy for people that want a one-stop shop.
Sure.
Yeah, I have it as a website. We'll do some retail stuff here and there, but the majority of it is for hosting. So I've talked to people out of buying Bitcoin ASICs. I've talked to people I had one guy, he had 15K A3s, but he said that, I want to send them to get hosted. I'm having a couple that had an issue. And I said, what's your power rate? He told me. I said, brother, it's going to cost you more to send it with me. Just keep it at your house. You know what I mean? So I feel like being this way pays dividends in the long run.
100%.
And it is what it is. I've also had people try to buy, one guy was trying to buy like a bunch of S21s, 200 terahash. I'm like, dude, you're 3 generations behind already. You'll never see the money back on those machines. He wanted to buy like 50 of them. And I was like, I don't think you should do that. If you're wanting to get into mining and you want some good rewards, get some L9s or get something that's going to be, worth it. Mm-hmm. So I've talked to people out of plenty of purchases that I felt like they would have regret. But if I make that statement and they ask me my opinion and I give it to them and they still make the purchase, all right, well, that's on you. You made a decision. You heeded the warnings, and that's cool. Had a guy buy 80 AL3s. You understand the risk, what's going on. You understand that this is a very risky play. I understand. I want to do it. I'm bullish on it. I think it's going to do great. All right, cool. You know what I mean? So it all kind of, it all kind of goes just with it, and it's just honest is always honesty is the best policy. Team JFK says, what ASIC would you recommend today? Guys, if you're going to get into ASIC mining, you know what I mean? And for us small guys, and I say small guys, unless you're buying 1,000 units and you got 5 cent power, stick with the altcoins, stay away from BTC ASICs. I've said this to people. Get the L series, get the L9. It's the most bang for your buck that you're going to get. I mean, we saw again, and I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again, the L7 never lost profitability ever, the entire bear market, unless you're at 50 cent a kilowatt hour. It never lost profitability. Okay. And I still have a client with 127 of them, and he's loving life. And it's 3 years later.
Crazy.
What about ETH hash ASICs? I feel like they're like under the radar, and they're always profitable. I mean, maybe not like the big ones, but like if you look at like the Jazz miners and the Bombaxes, I can't pronounce it right.
Yeah, you did.
They're always profitable, and there's always something to mine on them. And you can do stupid crap like spec. There's been like 3 or 4 spec mining plays that you could have been on them for a few months and made a crap ton.
So when people send ASICs to me, they're not spec mining. There's 2 types of customers we have. With the one guy who is really into mining, wants to stack as much Bitcoin as he can and wants to write off the power usage, or someone who's doing what's called tax loss harvesting. All right, and then there is a third kind, which is just the onesie twosie. It's just to want to be a crypto miner and they want to get rewards and get passive income. Right? It's just in all honesty. Most of our clients are not spec mining on ASICs. They're just forward.
That's fair.
L9 mining Dutch, get paid in what I want. You know what I mean? Or nice hash, get paid in Bitcoin. Most of our clients are like that. So the best ASIC to buy if you're going to get in, I would, if either go big or go home. Don't get an L3 plus. You can get some used L7s, but if you're going to buy an L7 used, they're about $8 grand. So you might as well just go L9 at that point.
That's insane. $8 grand.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting until they were getting down to $2 grand, and I was going to buy 2 of them, but it never got that low. I never found them less than like 3,500. Maybe 30,000.
How about those guys who bought the L7s and L9s before the election? Those are the smart guys.
Dude, I had a guy I quoted a guy on a major order. He paid 6,700 in L9. Same one right now is going for 16,000.
That's insane.
He can turn and flip his used machines right now and make a profit. It's crazy what these guys are spending. But real quick in the chat, Team JFK says 127 L7s. That is a free man that will never have to work for the man again. 100%. He made it a choice, and he's like, "What do you think?" And this was probably 2023. He got these. So at the time, they were only making like $10 a day. They weren't making great money. I mean, now forget it. But I think it's a great choice. I thought I told a lot of people about the L7. One guy who called me for a consultation a year and a half ago, and if I thought I knew stuff then I really didn't know. I know a lot more now. But he goes, "Do you think I should buy Bitcoin ASIC?" I said, "Brother, if it was me, I put all my money into L7s and I build a farm of L7s." He has a whole container. Calls me not too long ago and says, "I just want to say thank you. It was the best decision I ever made getting into mining, because had he bought the S19Ks, he'd have been wrecked right now."
Yeah.
It never made his money back.
So something to build onto that. If you look at someone who bought Bitcoin miners at the beginning of the bear market and someone who bought 3070s in the beginning of the bear market, like I did, I promise you the person who bought the GPUs made more money than the guy who bought the Bitcoins, depending on the power rate, because those 3070s are worth more now. And what are S19s worth compared to if you bought them 2 years ago?
So the S19K, a used one, 120, you could probably get for like $600 used. So I mean, they didn't lose too much I mean, they lost a significant amount in value, but they're not dirt cheap yet. The problem is that the first revision on the S19K, we just realized that was for the people who bought the S19K early, we realized that those machines were never made to be repaired. So at Terra, we had about 20 of them have problems. And when King opened up the board, he realized that everything on the board was soldered together, heat sinks included. So he's like, "Well, how am I supposed to repair this? They're throwaways. If a board goes bad, you can't fix it. You got to throw them away." That's why they were so fucking cheap. But the second and third revision were not like that. They were more traditional. So, I tell everybody, man, BTC mining is no longer for people like us. Even if you got a container with 4-cent power, yeah, you'll make a little bit of money. But if you get a container full of even L7s right now, if you wanted to go down a generation, you would still be pretty solid. And
think about it, Marathon's doing that. They've got a bunch of Kaspa miners that they're selling the Kaspa for Bitcoin, or straight selling the Kaspa for capital. And at the same time, they're Bitcoin mining. So instead of taking that big investment into more Bitcoin miners, they get more Bitcoin by mining something else and converting into it.
Yeah, listen, somebody called. I get a lot of Calendly calls these days, but one guy asked me, he's like, "I want to stack Bitcoin. What's the best way to do it?" I have X amount of dollars. I said, "Buy L9s and get paid in Bitcoin." It's the best way to do it.
100%.
Well, that's what killed Caspa for the home miners, right? Was when I remember last July when like the KS0 Ultra came out, and we were like, okay, it's okay, profitability. And then 3 months later, the Kaspa hash rate doubled or tripled. I don't remember the number, but it was a lot.
It was a lot, yeah.
And I feel like we were all taken by surprise. And I feel like you can't home mine Kaspa anymore. I mean, you could play around solo mining it, but what's the cutoff to be profitable in Kaspa now for power?
For Casper, what on a GPU you can't.
No, not a GPU. I'm talking like a good ASIC, like a
Oh, I mean ASICs right now for Casper are well, I don't know what it is at the moment. It's probably way down compared to where it was. Let me see. Let me look up the
cents.
No, but like what was it when it was like 17-18 cents? Like it just went
It was like $10. It wasn't anything crazy in profit. Right now the KS5 Pro, which is the most powerful one you can get, is doing about $5 a day in profit. I mean, it's not the greatest. I cannot believe a KS5M is doing 93 cents in profit a day. That is awful. Wow. A KS5L is negative 70 cents right now. That is wild. And that's at 9 cents.
That was a $15,000 ASIC at one time.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's insane. But see, like the problem with Kaspa, I catch a lot of shit for this, is that Kaspa was like on the Starship Enterprise for a project. Like it moved so fast that by the time the GPU miners started getting a hold of it, it was already moving into ASICs. Like it's just, a lot of people got burnt, man. I remember selling KS3Ms, and one guy's like, yeah, man, I'm so bullish on this, and 4 months later he got burned, and I there is a moral dilemma that I kind of run into as in, selling ASICs, where people, I probably get a lot of shit for this, but I tell people like, look, man, this might not be a good investment. Just want to let you know, because as a hosting provider, right, I make money when you make money. So every client is more like a partner, right? If you're not doing well and those machines are not up and they're not mining and they're not profitable, whatever, one of the three, then nobody's making any money, because I don't charge you for time that the unit is down, right? So it behooves me to make sure that you get a better bang for your buck and buy into a better machine that will give you more longevity, more profit for you, and everyone's happy.
So
With
the crazy thing with the Caspa ASICs were like, okay, so if you bought the first batch KS0s or the second batch, like Greater Good Mining, for example, or I did, you made a shit ton of money. So how are you supposed to tell people, guys, do not buy these Caspa ASICs? And then someone asked me, like, how much did you make off your 3 KS0s that you're telling me not to buy? A lot. Then why are you telling me not to buy them? Because you made money.
That boat is passed. Just like in the next generation, when a 100 terahash machine comes out, if you're on the first batch, you're going to make a shit ton of money for a short amount of time.
Right.
But these L series, I mean, even at the right power rate, L3s are profitable, and they have been for several months. L7s, L9s, like they're workhorses, and they're going to stay relevant for a long time because there's so many decent script coins out there. I think
here's the honest answer. Okay, Kaspa has not been tested in time.
Yeah.
Okay, Litecoin and Doge have. So we know that Dogecoin mining, Litecoin merge mining is always been consistent. Now, a lot of people are asking, and they're saying, well, okay, well, a lot of people that would have gotten into Bitcoin mining are now switching their ideas and they're getting into more Litecoin and Doge and converting over. What does that do for the market? Well, everyone's saying, well, eventually we're going to run out of people. Just too many people are going to sell. There's not enough people buying. Do you know Doge's trading volume? Go pull up Doge's trading volume. And that's 80% of the profitability on the L9. More people move money in Dogecoin than they do in any other any stable coin right now. And that's a fact. You can look that up.
Yeah.
Trading volumes in the billions. It's in the billions, right? What is it?
It's like 6.7 billion.
Yeah. More people move money in Dogecoin than any other. Okay.
Well, Dogecoin and Litecoin, because the fees are so low. Look at what it costs Bitcoin or USDC.
Yeah. There's countries all over the world that use Litecoin as currency. Like they'll take it at a gas station over in different parts of the world.
So although I do think Bitcoin has got a long way to go, for people wanting to mine Bitcoin, it's not realistic anymore. Even if I was to give somebody 7-cent hosting, unless you buy 200 machines, ain't gonna make a dent. Like these major farms are in the gigawatts now. It's insane. So, as far as Kaspa is concerned, Kaspa is untested. Okay. We don't know how it's going to do in a bull run. Nobody knows. Everyone's betting that it's going to do well, right? Traditionally, Kaspa has kind of, flew its own flag a little bit. So now we're seeing a little bit of a reaction to the market where it's also dipping with everything else. But there's a lot of sell pressure on Casper right now. A lot of these guys who spent 40,000-50,000 on ASICs, they want their money back. So it's just, and up until recently, 80% of a Casper block was empty.
And you know what the wild thing about Caspa is too? You have all the early people who, like, you got the GPU miners, the early ASIC batch people who just held, who were like, I'm so far ahead, I don't have to do anything. But then you see all, like you said, these people who want their money back, who put all this downward sell pressure on Kaspa. Like for me, for example, I thought my sell target was going to be like 75 cents to $1, and I GPU mined it probably in November of the ETH merge year of 2022, I guess it was.
Right, me too, yeah. Me
now
too.
I'm kind of like 25 cents. Is that my exit strategy? Like, because right now I'm technically about to be negative in my, I'm about to be technically losing money on my Kaspa bag. On my ASIC side of it anyway. So I'm like, am I like, when do I sell? Is it going to be 25 cents now?
Can you go to kas.fyi, put it up on screen, please?
Yep.
And let's see if there's been a fall off on hash rate since the price has gone down. I'm going to say no.
Oh, Oh,
because
God, freaking light mode. Sorry.
it's all right.
Just
Yeah.
blinded myself.
It's not up. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Okay, just letting you know. All right,
There
here
we
we
go.
go. So hash rate 1.46 exahash.
And
Hey,
teammate
there he
has
is.
Shown his face.
Yo,
What's up, buddy?
So
I don't think I've ever seen him wear a hat like that.
Man, looks like a
It's the,
completely different guy.
Yeah.
that's the ASIC Masters guy. They gave me a hat for free.
Oh, nice.
It has their little.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it. AM right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nice.
You look like you should be
But-
wearing overalls.
Oh, Jesus. That's with a piece of straw.
There you
like,
go.
you know, like the wheat. Was it
Yeah.
like one of the wheat grains?
Yeah.
So, but if we look here though, hold control, go and just scroll on your wheel a little bit and zoom in, because it's a little. There we go. So whoa, too much. All right, so 1.46 exahash. Last week it was hovering around 147, 148. So price is down significantly, significantly, and these guys have not turned off their ASICs. Now, if you look on the right, go a little bit to the right, live blocks. These guys are doing. Look at this transaction. Now, up until recently,
18,000 Kaspa. Hold on, that block is running away.
I don't know I don't know why it's 18. I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those rare occurrences. I don't know.
Wow.
But it could also be a transaction though.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily
probably a
mining.
transaction. I
So,
gotcha. Yeah. Oop.
yeah, right. So up until recently, I think Kaspa finally regained some ground. But up until recently, the Lithium transactions were more than Kaspa per day. Up until recently, and everyone's always got this like weird comparison between Lithium and Kaspa. Well, let me educate a few people. Lithium is actually at the moment, Lithium is better built because it has a functioning ecosystem. It could actually scale to more transactions per day, and it could handle the speed as well. So Kaspa has yet to release, except for Casplex, which was a third-party company, it had nothing to do with the Kaspa developers. There's nothing to build on with Kaspa at the moment. Yes, we got those KRC20 coins. We all did videos on them. King made Red Panda bathwater. I made the Hawk token on KRC20. But other than that just being for fun, there was no way to offload them or trade them or do anything. So it was a little premature. But the Kaspa developers are now starting to work on building their own ecosystem on top of it. Again, the problem with these projects is that when you get these community-driven projects, there's nobody steering the ship. It just turns whichever the weight, if there's more weight on the left side, the boat starts to turn left, and there's just more weight on the right side, the boat starts to turn right. You know what I mean? And that's just how these projects are. And, you know, can't blame the ASIC manufacturing saying, all right, well, there's no leadership here. Let's just make an ASIC. We'll sell millions of dollars worth of them and essentially just pull a Radiant. Obviously, it's doing better than Radiant currently, obviously. I mean, Radiant's going to get mined out of existence.
Yeah.
So at what point do we just go, stop creating community projects? You're not Bitcoin. No one's going to be Bitcoin. Okay. Stop it. Everybody stop. Like with these community oriented projects, they fucking go nowhere. And then people lose money and there's no one steering the ship. There's no one making decisions. No leadership. Go ahead.
what coins are there left to really go ASIC? I mean, you got a Leo, you have Nexa, we know those, but like, and obviously there's always going to be coins, but like, there's no other GPU mineable project right now besides a Leo and Nexa that could go ASIC, as far as I know.
Yep, here's that Nexa ASIC right here that came out on
Oh
Twitter.
Jesus, the Dragon Ball A21.
Yep.
Oh my, this is gonna get so wrecked, man.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
what are they saying the profitability is on this right now? Was it 3.4 gigahash? Hold on, I'll pull it up.
What is
So-
it on ASIC miner value too, right? Or no?
No, hold on, I'll do it manually. Hold on a second. So here, go. I'll share my screen so you can see. I'll do it manually for you.
ASIC miner
just-
value showing $4 a day.
Yeah, ASIC miner value is traditionally wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty low
so-
probably, and that's it. What, 11 cents? That's what I'm.
Yeah,
at right
so
now.
so let's go here. I'm sharing my screen. Let's hit Nexa. Now you're telling me that that machine is 3.4 gigahash.
3.4. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
3,400
1800
megahash.
1800 watts.
1,800 watts. And we'll do this at 9 cents. This is current value. Calculate. So this is telling me $5 a day in profit at 9 cents. $157 a month in profit right now. I just don't, for a $5 a day, how much is that machine?
It
I don't know. I
doesn't have a
didn't see
price
a
yet.
price.
There's no price on it yet.
But if it's $5 a day now, then it's it makes that's wild. You know what? A gold shell mini Doge 3 makes like $3. Well, it was making like $3 a day compared to this. Like that's wild.
Mm-hmm. So
and $5 now means it's going to be like nothing when it releases.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why even make? And this is my question. Like, you know, I'm sure there is some backdoor dealing between a few of these like companies when they're talking to each other and they're, you know, trying to create ASICs and stuff. Because look at the Radiant guys. Like, talk about like their what was, oh, we'll always be for, you know, decentralization and fairness and blah blah blah. Oh, hey, we'll create an ASIC and we'll give you a percentage of it. Oh, well, you know, and get the fuck out of here.
Come on,
money's like a bullet. It just tells the truth. It really does. And you really get to see where people's heads really lie. Radiant sold their soul. The Kaspa guys, whoever, you know, talked to them and negotiated and helped them with what they needed, sold their soul for money.
The only thing I will say about Nexa, though, is from day one, because I've been on Nexa since day one. I'm not like a Nexa maxi. I'm just saying they always said their goal was to go ASIC.
Right.
That was their goal from day one. They said we're on.
They
GPU.
did say that. You are correct. And so did a few different projects, and they've admitted it. But then, but like you're saying, crew, like when everybody goes ASIC, and then it's like the community forgets that for a minute on a few of these projects, and everybody just goes, "Oh, that's ridiculous," and they get upset. So real quick, I want to just shuffle real quick. King, how was your day? You just joined us. You kind of jumped into the heat of an argument. What do you got going on, bro?
Oh, I'm just working on setting up my new little repair lab I got going on. So
oh, you're working on it. Nice. What do you got? Oh, look, what do you got?
Got some stuff going on there, you know what I mean? So not
got
everything.
Got a little fancy smancy screen over there I see on a little stand. What do you got going on?
That's the microscope, you know, that has a little screen on it, and then got a hot plate here. I'm waiting for the heat guns to show up. My variable power supply is here. There's a couple of things I don't have yet. So,
hell yeah.
Well, company's going all in. I mean, you spent the money to get trained. You might as well buy the stuff so you can practice.
Yeah, that's the point.
Do it. You know what I mean? So, no, this is a KS5 for somebody. This is just a repaste job, but it's an aluminum board. So on the aluminum boards, if you're not familiar with it, they have heat sinks on the back.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of scraping off, you know.
So King, in your opinion, based on what model of I should say, what model of ASIC have you seen the best, well put together control board?
Oh, you mean hash board?
Hash board, sorry. Yes, hash board. I meant control board, something else.
I could take it apart in like 5 minutes, but I have a What's Miner over here. I just glanced at it earlier. The best put together, I would say, is the What's Miner. This one's not too bad. But like, so here's like some examples. I haven't cleaned this yet, so it's going to be hard for me to show. But you can see that there's some components here on the front of this piece here. You know what I'm saying? And like up here, this is a temperature sensor right here.
Double click.
And so what they do is they put this plastic stuff on here to try to protect it. But what they should do is force all of the air over these chips, and this way the actual you won't even need this. Like tearing this plastic off so this way I could probe and test everything it's a 50-50 shot. It either comes off in one shot or it just comes off in like a bunch of little pieces, and it's a huge pain in the dick.
Right.
It's either one or the other. So
and that's is that a Bitmain board?
This is the KS5 board.
Okay. Now is that one of the better designs you've seen for Bitmain when it comes to
the
hash
boards?
I
mean, here I'll show you the S19K like issues.
Oh Jesus! I was just telling them about the version 1, how they were throwaways.
Okay, so these boards aren't burn up.
Pay attention.
Okay, these boards aren't burn up, but they have no chip detection, right? So I'm just gonna give them a shot. Now we roughly had like 16 of these literally catch fire, and so what happens typically when these fail, right here on this rail, these literally melted right off all the way down here. And I had a few of these ASICs actually explode. Like there wasn't a chip anymore. Like it blew the heatsink off and there was a hole there.
Wait, Gene, is that because it's soldered directly to the board?
So you could see here, look, so typically on regular fiberglass boards, right, there's the backside is soldered heat sinks, right, which is fine, okay? Yeah. But this side is also soldered heat sinks. So normally this board is okay to work on, but because this is both sides were soldered, most shops don't work on these. Like I asked the guy in Florida if he would take these, and he said no. And I asked another place, and they said no.
Well, how do you put them back on? How do you put the heat sinks back on?
Yeah, you gotta use a heat gun.
Well, even if you use a heat gun, how are you gonna get them all back on if you don't have a?
It's gonna be a pain in the butt. So it goes from being a simple fix, to being like really hard. Like I asked a couple repair guys what their success rate is on this board, and they say between 10 and 20%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I can do basic repairs, so I can follow what you're saying. And the fact that they're soldered on both sides, like you get them both off, sure, with the heat gun, but how the hell are you getting them back on and not fucking it up in the process?
That's the idea. That's the idea.
That's the secret.
That's
the secret.
Well, that's why we were bitching when we were taking these apart, because they were meant to be thrown away almost.
What I'm hoping is, okay, like some of these are a no detect, right? It's really hard to see. This little black chip right here, where my finger's pointing, is the boost controller. All right. So this board, from what I can tell, doesn't have any other kinds of signs of any kind of blown caps, but I got to put it underneath the microscope. But I'm hoping most times the first thing you want to do with a no detect is you want to see if you're getting boost voltage, right? If the boost controller is actually boosting up the voltage. So you might need to fix that problem first. You should be at like 19 to 23 volts on the bit mains. So you test at this black cap right here. You test on the positive, negative, and you so this is the boost controller right there, that little black square.
Is that
right there on your index finger, right?
Yeah, and then right here you could test at this cap, okay, the positive negative side. And what you do there is so first you have to put in your variable power supply, hook up the leads, okay, then you have to have the STASIC or the arc tester to push the signal through, right, to test the board. And while it's doing its test, you will probe all the signals, right? So the first place I'm going to probe is going to be the boost controller. You know what I mean? If it's a boost controller and I repair it and it comes back, that's great. But it's kind of like this board's on borrowed time, right? Because everybody I talked to has said that these are like the S17s. They're trash. They're just meant to be thrown away. Right. They're not meant to be repaired.
That's why I'm just looking at that. That's wild. Like I don't even know if it's not those parts and it's something else. How the hell do you even diagnose it? Like how do you? Voltage.
So you would have to go through the chips and the domains, right, and figure out what chip it is, and then you're gonna have to pull a few of the heat sinks off to probe back and forth to see. It's gonna be awful, right? This is why.
Trash.
I asked all these repair shops and like, yeah, don't send that to us. Just throw it away.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm little Timmy. I'm just learning. I got 2 Wutz miners from the guys over there in Kansas that sold me the Z15s. So those he gave me some good ones. All the chips don't show up on all the boards, so
some practice.
He gave me some good practice. So then I got a couple of J Pros from him too. You know what I mean? They gave me a good deal. I think he sold them to me for like $100 each. So
is that,
I mean,
is that KS5? Is that a customer machine?
Oh, the KS5 one, yeah, that's a client. So it was overheating and throwing temperature errors.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a repaste.
Was it the pink? Was it the pink paste again, or did they not switch that over?
No, yeah, it's a pink paste, and there's but the pink paste is actually surprisingly. Check this out. There's different. I went to the site that these guys are all going to. It's called Thanos Mining. They sell lots of ASIC tooling and repair parts and all kinds of stuff, right? There is a pink paste that's 3.8 watts per meter Kelvin. Okay, but then there's another pink base that's on that site that's like 6, right?
Right.
So I don't know which one it is, but they do sell one that's 12 and a half.
Is it almost worth just putting the best one that they have, and then
Well-
just hoping that it withstands all the heat?
Well, so like that's something I was kind of thinking was like when we do repaste for a company, like we'll use the standard paste, but if they wanted to pay the little extra, right, we could use the really good stuff because obviously the 12 and a half is like really expensive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Compared to like to 5 or 6.
What's MX? And this might be a stupid question. MX4, like what we usually use, is that like at 6? Is it like 6, 7?
Yeah,
is
I
it
think
right
it's
around
like
that?
6.5,
Right.
or something like that.
And that was always a great one to use. Remember that one time? Didn't you have to do like one board with a bunch of like MX4 one time? Did you do? You did a repair that once? And that machine is still running good to this day, and it has that one that you repaired is really good. Sorry, crew.
So-
what'd you say?
No,
So-
MX4 is that's a paste you use on like GPUs and CPUs, right?
He used it on an ASIC, and it worked really good.
Yeah. The thing you got to be careful with ASICs though is like you don't want to put too much because then you get in big trouble, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. You got to be careful not to use too much. So I did buy the mold for this, and it is coming. So what I'm doing is I'm just like this board here. I've already taken it off, and I've already cleaned everything, right? I've already cleaned all the chips off and everything, right? All that stuff's good to go.
So do you clean that by hand, or do you have like an ultrasonic that you just put it in? And
Okay, so I learned a few things.
Windex?
We got ultrasonic with Windex.
Windex, yes.
He's
We
got
put them in
minions to
Windex.
clean them.
I learned a little bit about like how durable this stuff is, right? So, and people are gonna think I'm weird because I always preached against this, okay? But use this, okay?
Yeah.
It is a soft. It's a softer metal
So
brush.
The brass brush, yeah.
It's a brass brush.
Okay.
Okay. Don't be very specific when you get your brush. All right. It's a much softer material, and yeah, if you just lightly just push on there, all of it will just come off, right? And I literally watch these guys work on tons of machines in the shops, and they do the same thing, and they say it won't damage it whatsoever, right?
Interesting.
Just when you're brushing it, though, be very careful because some machines, like the L7s, right, have very small resistors. You know what I mean? That are very, 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 tiny. So you must be mindful of what's going on. You know what I mean?
So, King, one thing we talked about, and we were talking about Altcoin ASICs before you got here, which this will tie into that as well.
Yeah.
Is you said that the K7 was like the worst altcoin ASIC or ASIC to work on from like a repair.
We have
perspective.
one that's only half repaired still. It's sitting in Kansas on a pallet that went to 2 repair shops and could be fixed.
Wow. So what was the
I'm
explanation
I'm gonna bring it back with me one time, and I'm gonna take a crack at
play
it.
with it.
But when you went to school though, this is what they told you. Why did they say that the K7, like KA3s, and some of the altcoin ASICs, why are they so much harder to work on and more difficult than like L7s or L9s or
The
S19s?
resistors and capacitors get much smaller, right? And you have to have a very, very steady hand. You know what I mean? And also from that perspective is you have to realize this: there is no manual when people repair these, right? They're going on their experience, right? So it's just like when a new model comes out from Bitmain, there's not like they're like, oh, hey guys, by the way, there's a new model. Here's the new training manual that you need to study so you can fix this. That doesn't exist like with cars and stuff, right? Like they have to wait to get a unit in and then sit there for like a week or two and just go through it all, test everything, use their knowledge they got and figure it out. You know what I mean? Which is why the altcoin miners are harder to repair because they don't mass produce them like the Bitcoin miners. You know what I mean?
Right. So like, for example, like to replace a chip on a KS5 would be like what, $150 compared to like an S21, which is like $35-$40. Is that kind of like the ratio?
Typically, yeah, the altcoin miners chips are more expensive to work on, and most people they charge like a board repair fee. It's usually between like $200 to like $400, depending upon your shop you go to. Usually, Bitcoin miners have a cheaper board repair fee. right? Like it's like the initial fee you pay to work on the board.
Yeah.
Usually Bitcoins are between 200 and 300, and usually the altcoin miners on, you know, the higher end of the spectrum,
Right.
because they're more challenging to work on, right? So, but the one in Florida though, he's a really good tech, and that K7 is the only thing that's ever stumped him. And besides that, if he can't fix it, he won't charge you the board repair fees.
King, is it like with GPUs? There's always like schematics you can get, whether they're private or public is another.
There is no
story,
schematics.
There's no schematics for the ASICs you can get.
So okay,
like no one's
so
ever gotten one out of China.
No, no, they gatekeep the shit out of that. You'll never get it from, even if you go to the Bitmain Academy, they won't give that to you. The only schematics that I've ever come across are the ones from that school where he's like showing you how to do like general testing points for components like LDOs and testing your boost controllers and stuff like that, showing you the right voltage, showing you what they look like, you know what I mean, having a picture. They give you a lot of general references because sometimes Bitmain does like 3, 4, 5 board revisions in one single model. You know what I mean? So
they want you to repair the ASIC and they want you to get good at it, but not good enough where you could.
No, Bitmain does not want you to repair it. They do not.
They don't. They
want you to buy another one.
Right. They want you to.
They do not want you to fix it.
Well, don't they have repair centers in the U.S.?
No, they do. They
do. RMA, right.
Right, but they're not designed to be like, okay, this S19 board is not meant to be repaired. It's meant to go just boom in the garbage. Okay. Now what's miners, they are designed to be serviced, right? I asked the guys there like about the what's miners, and they said 99.9% of the time it's always repairable.
So crew, do you know the story with what's miner and Bitmain or micro BT? So the guys that started, and King, correct me on this because he heard the full story, but micro BT was created by guys that were initially at Bitmain, and they saw a lot of issues that they were having with quality control and service, and they didn't like what was happening essentially, and they went in and created their own ASIC company, which is now what's miner. And they essentially, and anybody who's cracked one open, and I've heard this even before King went to school, that what's miners were made so much better than Bitmain. And King just confirmed it. He's like, bro, I wish we could just sell what's miners, because they're so easy to fix.
Like, I'd never taken apart a what's miner. Like, even at the school, the hash board was already taken apart. I literally just took it apart in 2 minutes. It is literally designed to be serviced, right? Just like if it needs to be serviced, it can be serviced. You know what I mean? And most of the stuff with the what's miners, you don't even need a heat gun. You could just use your hot plate. You can cold seat you can cold seat the chips. You can't do that with Bitmain. Yeah. You could cold seat the chips.
Use either.
You could take that thing off, put the chip on cold, put it back on, let it go with a little bit of flux. Oh yeah, I've done it. That's all they taught us.
I could tell you that I've always wondered like why people chose micro BT and all the other ones. They are the BMW to Bitmain's Honda. Don't get me wrong, Hondas are good cars and they'll get you from A to B, but they're just like, these cars are these ASICs are just made to be fixed and back up and running, and they have a lot of features as well that Bitmain doesn't have. Like, what was that one you were telling me about? It's called suspend, or like if it gets too hot.
Yeah. So they have what's called a suspend mode, and what it does is it ramps the ASIC. Let's say you need to ramp down your farm, or you're I don't know, storm's coming, or whatever, right? Maybe curtailment, whatever, right? You need to slow some units down. Okay, you put them in suspend mode, and it keeps the fans all the way maxed out for 2 minutes, and then it brings it down to 100 watts. Because what happens with Bitmain is Bitmain just goes to sleep, and then the unit's still super hot.
Sits there and bakes.
It just heat soaks the shit. You know what I mean?
That's just how you ruin parts.
And that's how you literally ruin stuff. You know what I mean? So,
look, as an outsider, it's crazy to me that ASICs, right? Think of it. Name another company that can burn so many people, or another industry that can burn so many fucking people year after year after year, and people just run right back. Like, How many people have you seen literally get burned by an ASIC and they're like, "Oh no, next time I'm good."
Well, we had a couple ASICs that we sent back for RMA, and King gets an email and it says, "Oh, this unit's being scrapped."
So you need to be careful, because even micro BT, it does say in their warranty section that if any corrosion is found, it voids the warranty. So depending upon where you're having everything ran at, if it's, let's say you're getting cheap power, but it's like in, I don't know, in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it's, you know, it's Yankees freaking horsefly fest in there, okay, then yeah, you know what I mean? It's if you got to go get it fixed by Whatsminer or Bitmain, they're going to deny it. You know what I mean? So it also comes down to the quality of the hosting company you're choosing, because there are some things that void the warranty. Okay.
It sounds like GPUs, except, you know, instead of paying maybe $1,000 for a unit, you're paying 16.
Yeah, it kind of depends. Like, yeah, because and this is the thing is also, and here's also a big if. Okay, depending upon where you send it to, it goes to a repair center, just like the place I went to, but they're for Whatsminer, but it goes to similar guys, right, that are in the industry. You realize that those guys deem like they're only allowed to fix so many chips on the board for a warranty, and if it's more than that, it's deemed a no fix. So check this out. So, and here's the numbers, okay? And Bitmain, it's like 20 chips that they'll fix under a warranty claim.
So how many chips are on an S21 for us that don't know?
I would have to go look real quick.
Just wing it. Like, how about just wing? Like, are there 100? Are there?
Oh, okay. So like, look, on an S19K, there's 77.
So they could fix like 16 to 20 max, and then it's a no fix.
Right. So if they deem it a no fix, then that means a unit scrap, and that means that only that board. Okay. Let's say this board had 20, but then you had another board that died. Okay. Well, yeah, you're really in the red now, and they're not fixing that. You know what I mean?
Would they give you a replacement?
No. They're just going to say
fucking
no.
took the unit.
They just say it's scrap. They say this is this because of this.
And they don't even return it. They just
no.
trash.
No, I offered to have it shipped back to me, like 2 units that were scrapped. I said, please send the units back to me. I'm willing to pay the shipping cost. I would like to have the units back, please. I emailed them for 5 weeks straight. Every Monday I would email them in the morning. Please send me back my unit. Here's my ticket number. Tell me what the shipping price is. Thank you.
They won't. And, you know, like, as a hosting company, who's responsible now? You know what I mean? So it's unfortunately it's the price of doing business. But Bitmain, again, Chinese company, don't give a shit. What are you gonna do? You're gonna drive to Shenzhen and take them to court? Like, so it is what it is, and it's just it's shitty, but that's what they do.
Now, as far as turnaround times go, there is no guaranteed turnaround time, as far as I know, for a Bitmain unit. I've had some out for a few months that eventually come back. I had one that went away for 3 weeks and came back, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry, King, guys. Sorry, I thought you were.
I was just going to say it depends, but look, Whatsminer, okay, under normal circumstances, requires the repair centers to have it back out and complete and be mailed by the 7th business day.
Yeah, they have put a higher standard on the repairs than anyone else. Now, one company that is very similar to this is AlphaPex. Now, AlphaPex, guys, they have a phone number.
Yeah, you don't ever see that.
That's crazy.
You can kind of reach the CEO. Like, he's not that hard to get a hold of.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, look,
I've been bugging him
like
for
that.
a meeting for.
We're like that at Terra. You can call us directly if you have a problem, and that's what people will pay more to have that level of service. And AlphaPex, even though they're just the script miners at the moment, you can call them directly. Hey, I sent a unit. We sent a DG1 out. We had one that needed some control board issue was wrong, but if it's an RMA, we recommend to the client, let's just send it, let them fix it if it's within RMA period. So we sent it. It was less than a week. It came right back. I hit up Payne and I texted him, say, hey, I got this unit that I sent over. He's like, no problem. Take care of it. I'll reach out to those guys over there, make sure it gets done. I mean, quick.
No, he's good to get a hold of.
He's great. No, it's great. And when companies do this, it's people will pay the extra money for a different brand or a better brand. And I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to Bitcoin mining, are going to be moving more into micro BT once they start finding out that these. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Bitmain with these large farms like with Mara and Riot, I'm sure Bitmain.
Oh, they've got dedicated reps. They got dedicated repair people. Probably
they fly
on-house facilities.
Yeah, they fly their techs over there, and they'll fix it for you for the amount of money that these guys pay.
Tens of millions that they spend, right?
As a small-time ASIC person, right, who doesn't know much about them, I will tell you this: as I've started to work with some of the companies, what instantly makes me feel better, right? For example, Canaan, they have a U.S. office, they have U.S. staff. If you have a presence in the U.S., I am instantly more comfortable dealing with you, especially if it's like I'm gonna help with your products and stuff. But like, forget about that part. If I'm an owner of an ASIC, or if I'm gonna buy an ASIC from a company, the first thing I'm gonna look for is, do you have a presence in the U.S.? Are you subject to like U.S. I can't be a scumbag laws?
Right. Yeah. Canaan is another good company that has struggled in the past with their machines, but now they're out of Malaysia. There's no tariffs on the Canaan ASICs. They're significantly cheaper, and we saw the 1566 at Mining Disrupt and Bitcoin Nashville, and it was a decent machine, man. 2 fans ran quiet at 184 terahash. Like usually the other machines, they scream. King saw it. I'm like this thing's mining right now, and granted it gives off heat. 2 fan quieted. Like, oh yeah, it was a great machine, and the GUI is even better. 3 modes: high efficiency, normal, or low, and it's great. They put a lot of work into their machines.
They got a pretty big announcement coming up at CES. I think they're gonna announce a new ASIC. They haven't told me yet, but I'm gonna help them cover it. So it should be interesting to see what they release there. So it's like in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, Bitmain. Now, what people don't know, a lot of people don't know, is that a few of the people that are involved in Bitmain and really high up have been sanctioned by the United States. Really? And yes, so Bitmain is, they know, the government and people know what's going on with those people that are sanctioned. MicroBT is an American company. That's what's miner. You know what I mean? And from what we understand, they're square. So it doesn't surprise me that there's some shady shit going on between the Bitmain guys and what's going on and how they're getting units in here and all that other stuff.
Yeah, how are they getting past those tariffs? Because like
they're not getting past them. They're filing them, and what's the problem is these major companies like Mara and the rest of them, they're getting units so cheap that the tariffs, by the time you add it, just come back until more of the retail price. I mean, you got to understand, they're ordering 10, 20,000, an order. They're coming in on planes. Like there was a guy that I spoke to a long time ago. He does the freight for like FedEx and DHL, and he was telling me, he goes, dude, FedEx and DHL at one point when they were buying these machines was subcontracting independent companies, smaller guys that had planes or ships and stuff, to get them over here because they couldn't handle the load.
Wow. And
they were charging more money and then paying other companies third party to do it. So people just got to, go ahead. Sorry.
So if the U.S. government knows what shady shit that Bitmain's got going on, how are they planning on opening U.S. offices?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I know a few people that have been sanctioned by them. But it's the same question that I have for a lot of other things with Chinese related. Why are the Chinese owning farmland in 38 states? What's up with that? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So
somebody's getting paid somewhere. That's what it comes
somebody's
down to.
getting paid somewhere. And listen, I'm all for it if you want to invest into the country and create jobs and stuff. I'm with it if that's what you want to do to bypass, because that's what I don't want to get into the whole tariff conversation, but that's what tariffs are supposed to be negotiating for, is to have companies stop making shit cheaper somewhere else and bring their manufacturing here and create jobs. That's the bargaining tool for tariffs, essentially. And what Bitmain's going to do there, I don't know. All I do know is that they did seize, this was a while ago, this was like early this year, they seized about 300 or 400 S21s before they were even out on the market, when they were trying to build a mining facility next to an Air Force base. You remember the story, Goat? I think we covered this.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
And the S21s were seized, and they weren't even released yet. This was sometime last year. Wow. either early this year or sometime last year. I think it was last year. Time flies, man. It's crazy.
Still sitting in a warehouse.
They were all sitting there, brand new, and these weren't even announced on their website yet when they were seized. So they're definitely withholding. Like right now, they got the 270 terahash air cooled unit guaranteed. Right now, they got a 300 plus, 400 plus air cooled unit. We're getting the scraps leftovers.
Yeah.
At this point, that's why I tell everybody, just stay away from Bitcoin mining completely. Don't even bother. You stay away from Bitcoin mining. If it's over.
There's massive orders. Like when I went to go pick up those scrap units, he was receiving 3 semi-loads of M60 S pluses. So
that's insane. That is insane. How utilized it is.
So it's really hard for little guys to get into the game, right? Like, I'm not trying to bring it back to GPUs, but like most of us are GPU miners, right?
That's where we started.
It's almost impossible to run a GPU at your house anymore. Like, I was told that there's no hosting companies because someone asked me like, where would you host? I was like, you go to Terra, you go to Meter. Those are like my 2 recommended. And they're like, they're not taking GPUs anymore. And like,
That's
I
right.
get it.
Well, you know why, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me why. Like, I totally get it. Like, they're way more maintenance. They're not profit. Like, they're just not. You can't charge what it would cost for someone like King to maintain a rig versus maintaining a single ASIC. I get it, but like as a GPU miner, like where do you go now? I have people ask me, they're like, should you build a share? Like, absolutely not.
There's alternatives out there though. Okay, so like, I did mining rig rentals for a little while. That's a really good place. You can go rent some really powerful stuff over there and just go crush a network for like $50, $100 or whatever. Instead of buying like a bunch of graphics cards, you know what I mean, and spending like 10 grand on graphics cards.
But if you're doing that, why not just buy the coin at that point?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's GPU is I hate to say it, but GPU is still like a spec play. Like,
but is it though?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna tell you why it is. So I got this one. GPU mining is a spec play because there's no consistent profitability, and a lot of people are looking at it from, and they're going back to ETH, man. Okay, so everyone's looking at the old ETH numbers, and I would call GPU mining great if it was 50% of ETH. It's not even 10% of the numbers. You're not making. I mean, come on, dude. 40 cents a day, not even on a GPU is stupid.
Well, it's the most powerful GPU out there.
I would never run an 8-card rig and make $5 a day. I would go buy 4090s, put them on Vast. I got 4 of them doing almost $30 a day.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you say that Vast.ai or like that opens up a whole thing where you're like, you can't just plug in and play. You have to understand networking, which is
well, I mean, yeah, you have to kind of not necessarily networking per se. I mean, you can run it on your home network. I don't recommend it. Maybe watch some videos, but you can learn how to do it. There's people with guides. Wait, where is he? Is he over here? Okay. There's people with guides, right? There's people with there's things, but when I started crypto mining, I had to go watch 100 damn videos and ask for help from a bunch of people because I didn't understand. I was using simple mining. I mean, King, not King, sorry, but a lot of other people have started, when they started mining, they were doing it on Windows. You have to kind of know a little bit about how to use it. You know what I mean? It's not just like a program. So Vast.ai actually is you set it up one time, you do all the coding. Yeah, you go on Linux, but you have a dashboard. Just like Hive OS. You can go either or. Okay, King.
So, I mean, the only thing that was great for GPU mining at all in this bear run is if you mine very early on. Mine the shit out of Kaspa, okay, and you're probably a millionaire, okay. I know a couple guys, okay, that did really well with that. And they held their bag and they're doing great. But see, that's a speculative play though, because how many other coins did that for people, or how many other coins?
There were definitely quite a few, maybe not quite a few, but there were more than a handful of profitable coins. But like what I'm trying to say is like ASIC mining isn't a reality for a lot of people.
So
like,
why not?
Too expensive, or you can't buy the
okay, hold on a second. Hold on.
That is true. See, that comes. Okay, so let's just say this. Okay,
hold on.
Let's just say little Timmy. I'm little Timmy. Okay, I'm gonna go buy an ASIC. Okay, let's just say I have my whole life savings and I got, I don't know, $2,500. That's all I've ever saved up for. Okay, I go buy an ASIC. Okay, and then guess what happens? 6 months later, 7 months later, it breaks. Okay. oh, well, I don't have $700 or $1,000 to go fix it. So people that get into ASIC mining need to understand that these are not Dell PowerEdge servers that come with very long warranties and very reliable parts. Okay, you're running. Okay, just think about this. You're running about 3,300 watts to that machine, 365, 24/7, all year long. Okay, at some point in its life, it's gonna fail. Something small, maybe it's something big, right? At some point, something is gonna die.
But how many people take that into consideration? You guys know better than anyone. You run a hosting company.
Everybody
Nobody
learns.
does.
How do you think we learn though?
No,
Zero.
you guys learned. I'm not
I
talking
mean,
about
I-
you guys. We're the exception to the rule. Like my shed has meters on every plug. I know exactly how much everything runs. I know exactly how much leeway I have. But how many people do that?
Well, I mean, new people,
okay, well,
new people don't. But
Yeah, see, but so like
They have to
being
learn.
in the situation we were, right, and from the company, when I bought my fleet of S19Ks, I allocated extra money. Instead of buying another unit, I bought multiple power supplies, multiple control boards, multiple fans, okay, in the event of a failure, okay? That's what people need to do. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna go buy like two, like I'm just gonna say L7s, I don't even know what they go for now. That was the $8,000.
right around
Okay.
it.
Yeah, okay, so it's like 16 grand, we'll call it. Okay, you need to also, with that order, go buy at least one power supply, two control boards, and at least two full sets of fans, and just have it on the side.
Do these ASICs work on 140? By the way, do any of these big ones work on 140?
No.
Or 120? I mean, not
Now,
140.
hold-
Sorry, 120.
Hold on a second.
No,
I want to just hold on. I don't want you to go past that. Average people can't afford ASICs. What's it right now? You want to buy 8 3070s. I'll give you 3070s. 8 3070s, the two power supplies, the motherboard, the RAM, CPU. Give me an average cost.
I can give you an exact cost. Hold on. I'll
Okay, give me an exact cost.
I'm gonna say like $2,700. I mean, if you get used stuff from like OfferUp, you can
Well,
definitely get it way
King's
cheaper.
pretty close. I was gonna say 25. So King's
Okay,
pretty damn
I can
close.
get you a brand new Z15 Pro for $2,500. Does $5 a day, make more than your GPU.
Yeah, but okay,
For how
so
long?
you're not wrong, but like, what else can you mine?
Anything that does the what
The
isn't
Equihash.
Z15 Equihash?
It's Equihash, yeah.
That's the
You've got a-
Equihash
and
ASIC
you've
you were
got a
talking about
handful
earlier.
you've got a handful of coins there you can mine with Z15s, and that's just like with just about any ASIC. There's a handful of different coins, and you can put them on the like with script ASICs, and I think Equihash is on there too. You can put them on mining Dutching, and it'll merge mine a bunch of shit, and you get paid out and
And-
whatever. But,
And
go ahead.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. And they have 120 kits that you can add to most of these to make them run on 120.
Some of
I
them,
know because
It won't be full hash rate though.
No.
it won't be full
Well,
hash rate.
Yeah.
And then Yusuf was saying that not everybody has 240. That's not true. Okay, so check this out.
240
In my
is not
laundry
hard to
room,
get.
Everybody
okay,
has
in my
240,
laundry room,
Yeah.
I have an adapter, okay, that gives me an L630R. I run it out to my garage, and I have a PDU out there that I run at night, and I test all the ASICs.
No, like, so you guys are definitely right. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, look, GPU mining in this next cycle is not going to be as good as everybody thinks.
It may.
Everybody.
According to Red
that.
Panda Mining, it might be great.
No, look, I think he's okay. So all respect to Panda, but I don't think he's right.
All right.
Like, I don't think he's right. I think that he's lucky. He has 8 cents power. How many people in America have 8 cents power?
About
I
half.
have a cheaper power rate than 95% of the country, and I'm fighting to keep it under 14 cents. Like, I sold all my 30 series for a reason. I literally only have 170 HXs, which is the most powerful mining GPU ever made. And
Mhm.
I'm still kind of fucked, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm going to make it past this cycle mining at my home. And, the cap on profitability for GPU mining is low. I still don't think it's dead, but I think it's
So-
hurting. I don't know, man. I'm
Can
like
I-
trying not to be negative
I'll-
about
No,
it.
I'll-
no, don't be
enlighten
negative. We're
everybody.
having a conversation.
No,
This is
no,
great.
but
We
it's
can
like-
do this without blocking each other.
No,
Listen, Scott
he's
Sheffield had a
saying, like,
question.
That somebody needs to host these things, okay? And we do host GPUs, and I know Metered hosts GPUs, right? And I think he said Meter's not taking GPUs anymore, neither are we. But I mean, you really need to think about how much maintenance goes in these, okay? So number one, Octominers hasn't produced any units in 2 years,
Yeah.
okay? not a single
They're
one.
not going
Okay, and yeah, and I'm okay. So
Well,
like,
I mean, like a lot of those kind of OEMs, they're all focusing on AI now, which
yes.
yeah, it's the same kind of hardware, but it's not mining. It's a different kind of mindset.
So
You can do both
check
with
it out
AI
here.
rigs,
I was
though.
presented with an opportunity to possibly to take over the Octominer stock. Okay, and I don't think I'm leaning towards no.
I
But
don't see the
maybe.
profitability in it. You still have PCSP with all
Because
those
it's like yeah, okay, you take over the stock, okay, but I mean, who's gonna buy 500 Octominers?
Yeah,
Like who? Like there's no.
you're gonna
I
end up-
see
Well,
you're gonna
I see a
piece them
couple
out for the
guys.
next
I
3
know those.
years.
You know what I mean? I know a few guys, but like I seen the struggles of what GPU risers went, right? Trying to get rid of those things. Okay.
So PCSP had all of those Octominers, right? And I heard from outside, from people that I'm not gonna say, that they were gonna scrap them all. So when the BC250s went out of stock and the cheap Octominers went out, I'm like, all right, well, I assume someone bought the BC250s, and then I assumed the Octominers got scrapped because it was like the end of the year. I just assumed they were gonna scrap them, whatever. And then they came back on the market, right? Like they have a fuck ton of those things, and like they're gonna kill the server market resaleability until they're gone, or mining cases. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you can't compete with that.
But here's the challenges though with that. Okay, these Octominers, I constantly work on them. They're troubleshooting them is terrible. Okay, like sometimes it's easy. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to fix. But man, you get that weird one that like just takes a really long time. You might spend 3, 4, 5 hours on that thing. Okay, and hey, like, what do you tell a customer at that point?
Yeah,
Okay,
is that
because
billable?
we don't
I
do
mean,
stuff for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
I'm just saying, okay, then you have to blow them out every so often, okay, and that's another cost, okay, but then everybody wants 6-8 cent power rates for these GPUs, and if you think about it, if a unit's only pulling 500 watts at 8 cents, you're making like $30-40 a month profit from this guy. You know what I mean?
And it sucks.
You're making like no money from him, right? On top of maintaining and repairing everything, and GPU mining it too. It's really hard to be competitive with GPU mining, which is why why we kept our price the way it is, because it's just it's so involved, right? Compared to like an ASIC, you got a control board, you have a power supply, you got hash boards and fans. That's
so
it.
we would, in order for GPU mining to make sense from a hosting perspective, you would have to get somebody in there just to do it every day, 5-6 days a week, every day in there. By the time you pay that guy a livable wage, okay, you're break even.
If you're lucky.
At 2,000 GPUs, you're break even.
yeah.
Yeah.
The farm would have to be 4,000-5,000 plus.
So
and at that point, I need a second guy.
So
No.
and
No
to that
thanks.
point, hold on, to that point, Hawk, which is why I say GPU is spec mining. You say, oh, it's profitable. No, GPU mining is never profitable. How much are you selling every day, Crew Man? Are you selling every month? Are you selling
not anymore?
anything?
I was, but not anymore.
Are you?
No.
I mean, are you selling any to pay? You're covering power out of pocket, right?
So actually, you're gonna laugh, but for 90% of this bear run, I sold out of pocket.
Yeah.
So whatever, my bags are probably 10% of pandas, but they're straight profit bags. Like
That's a lot of money if it's 10%.
Well, all right, maybe it's 5. It's not. Anyway, the point is maybe 2 months ago I started paying for power out of pocket. That's it. Like now it's like when the run up and you kind of see the end.
It makes sense, yeah, because you're making more per rig. You're able to actually.
But
when you're,
but like the thing is like this sounds crazy because GPU mining is a fucking nightmare and it's not passive income anymore and blah 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 blah, right? But it is definitely more friendly to get into than ASIC mining because and I'm not criticizing ASIC mining because I do it and I think it can be easier and it can be more profitable.
I think it's a good entry for us because we're nerds. We like to tinker and we get that. But a guy that's just got 5 figures in a bank that just wants to buy some shit and let somebody else manage it, ASICs make sense. If I'm going to spend 50 grand, I'm not going to spend 50 grand on shit I'm going to put in my basement. I'm going to spend 50 grand and send shit to Hawk and let it just ride, right? No.
When Hawk, when you're done, I want to ask you something. Actually, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, so the thing that I hate the most about ASICs, and I'm not trying to be critical, I'm just being honest, right?
We're having conversation. Just don't apologize. Just go.
I hate the ASIC stock market. It preys on FOMO, and you literally have to make a choice then. I remember I was going to buy a jazz miner last year. I waited 3 days, and it cost me $400. Now, it was worth it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to sleep on this. You can't sleep on it.
You know who sets those prices?
Not you. It's the manufacturer.
No, I'm just letting you know. I'll tell everybody up front and honestly, the margins for ASIC resellers like myself are under 5%.
I believe it.
It's nothing. It's nothing. So the manufacturers will actually, I have group chats, about 3 of them with different manufacturers and people that representatives from those manufacturers. And I'll get a price on something right now, right? An hour from now, it'll change. And let's just say I gave you a quote and the price was 10,000, right? And you say, all right, man, cool. I'll call you tomorrow. Tomorrow you call me and say, hey man, I'm ready to send that 10,000. Sorry, it's 12,000.
Yeah. That quick.
And go ahead, King.
But you know what the best market is to get into, if you can get them cheap enough, is the used market. That's when you can wheel and deal. I mean, I know a guy that at the time of the market, the S19Ks were going for what, $500 back then, and I traded 4 of them. So I mean, that's like a 2K trade, not including what they've already paid themselves off to me. So I'm just saying is you can go out there and you can go wheel and deal some people, you know what I mean? And that's where I think if you can get cheap power and you can go find some used units, you know what I mean? I think that's the score.
Can I real quick, I want to answer something from way back. Scott Sheffield, who I admire dearly, said that's not the scenario. I have to go back on something. I wanted to respond to it. He said, average Joe can scale a GPU rig, but buying parts as you go, but you can't do that with an ASIC. Well, okay, yes and no. You can't do that if the ASIC's $16,000 each, right? An average person. Okay, let's just say an average guy's not going to do that. But case in point, King finds a bunch of used Z15s, he fixed them. And you could scale and keep going with something like that. So earlier, like Crute said, you know, $2,500, it built a whole entire 8 GPU 3070 rig. You can get ASICs sub $2,500 if you really want to get into it. Are you going to make tons of money? Probably not. But you can still get into it and you can scale with another $2,500. When I used to build, as a GPU miner, when I used to build rigs, when I first started, I purchased 8 cards up front. It was 63060s and 23070 Ti's, all EVGA when I first started. I actually have a video on it. When people, typically, if someone's going to do GPU mining at scale or they really want to get into it, there are some people that I believe will buy 1 or 2 GPUs at a time and just expand as they go. Nice. There you go. But the majority of people who want to do it build a rig at a time, 8 cards at a time. I personally, I don't disagree. I think it just depends on what your strategy is, but you can scale just as easily as an ASIC as you can with an 8-card rig and GPUs, and you're going to use the same power right around it, because I mean, what's the power on the power? It's 2,800 watts on a Z15 Pro 860 kilohash, right? The brand new one that just came out. A GPU rig, if you're running them and you got cheap power and you're running them full bore, you're going to be close. You know what I mean? So maybe 2,000, maybe a little bit less power.
How much power was it? And I'll tell you exactly.
The Z15 is getting, hold on. The Z15 Pro, the new one, is doing 2840 for the 860, 2780 for the 840, and the 820 is doing 2720.
So to be fair, just to give, on a 3070, for example, you're not cranking that thing past 160. That was when you could like dual mine like Pyram and Ironfish, or Kapow is 150. So you're only getting about 1,280 watts on an
right, but if you look at the profitability.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I'm not talking. You were just talking power usage. That's all.
I'm just talking. Yeah, you're gonna spend a little more with an ASIC. It's a condensed.
Sure.
It's a condensed rig. Like it just is what it is. It's the way they all are. However, let's just say you got an L7 laying around, right? And you want to mine with it at home. You could put something like Vanish on it and get crazy efficiency, where you could probably run it a lot less than a GPU rig. And if you wanted to get down, I mean, King had who was it? Iowa Mining, Dupran. He he was getting crazy efficiency on some of those 120s that he had at one point, putting like aftermarket, like putting brains on them.
Yeah.
Even some of those
I got
93
mine down to
terahash raking.
15. I got mine down to 1550. You got down the same way.
Yeah, so you can really get
1550
those things
is the lowest-
efficient
is the
if you
lowest-
want to.
Is the lowest you could drag it down to.
And if you're at a good power rate, that's still really good. You know, if you're at 7-8 cents and you get really good efficiency out of an ASIC, I mean,
Yeah, but
again, it's
so
6-in-1. Go ahead.
Can you get that same efficiency on other ASICs? I mean, we've gone and said Bitcoin mining direct is not the way to go.
I
We're
agree,
not gonna
100%.
Can you do that same thing with an L7, an L9, a
Yeah.
Z15?
Yes.
Any of those?
Vnish works
Vnish.
on
Okay.
works on the L7 and L3 plus.
Hold on, I want to answer something real quick. Yusuf says Panda's making millions on GPUs. Well, one thing you got to understand about Panda. Panda has 8 cents power. Nobody in the US is getting 8 cents power.
Yeah, but look, even it doesn't matter about his power rate though, because you're missing it, Crute. Because
Well, no, I know he
pays all of it out of pocket, so it wouldn't matter if it was even 10 cents or 12 cents. He would still pay it out of pocket, right? Because he's a true believer, right? And but also you got to realize this too. His farm is like 400 or 500 GPUs. Okay,
Yeah.
he is not a regular person. He has multi-site
He is not a regular
GPU
person.
himself. Okay,
No,
you
no,
can't.
you're
He's
right.
the exception to
He's
the rule. You know what I mean? Okay.
He also is. I don't want to. I'm not going to put Panda's
I know what you're
personal
saying, Hawk.
information
I know-
out
I
there,
know
but
what
he's
you're
very well diverse in crypto and other businesses too. That gives him the opportunity to do these
for
things
sure.
and focus on YouTube. So, if he was just a pure GPU miner, yeah, he would be making decent money. But Panda is a very smart guy and he's very diversified in other ways. And if he would tell you right now that he does it for YouTube and more of a hobby at the moment than anything else, rather than making passive income, he'll tell you that.
People ask me, they're like, is your shed making you money? And I like my friends, my family, they're all like, is your shed making you money? I'm like, no. They're like, how much are you making? I'm like $70 a day. So it's not actually making you money. And I said, yeah, I told you it wasn't. You just asked me again if it was. Like I tell everybody it's not profitable. They're like, why do you do it? And I'm like, well, there's YouTube, there's this, there's that. Like, I like it.
I think that, like Goat said, that it should be more, in my opinion, like being through the cycles now. Look, the Ethereum days were great. It was long lived and everybody loved them, right? And everybody made. I made tens of thousands. I made lots of money. Okay,
it's all in Terra. Thanks, King.
But the problem is that those days are over, and I don't see it coming back this one. I think you might get lucky on the next one, okay? But yeah, should you have like an 8-card GPU rig of some 6600s or something really efficient? Sure, right? Okay, something that doesn't break the bank. You know what I mean? Would I go build a shed and go fill it full of octo miners? No.
Probably not right now, no.
No,
I'm with King. I got
do it.
3 rigs ready to go if GPU mining makes a comeback. 3 rigs go, including the BC250s I just bought, which I haven't even opened that box yet. So, like, if GPU mining makes a comeback tomorrow, I got 2 R8s in there stacked, ready to go. Turn them on. Get the newest version of Hive OS and turn them. I think most of us have that. You know what I mean? Ready to go on the side.
So okay, Hawk, what's your number? What is your number to make per day? Like 3070, for example, profit per day after power to get you to turn back on
each 3070.
On each 3070.
I mean, I don't own any 3070s, but
no, I'm just giving you any. Like I'm asking you as a generic
for me to
question.
turn on my rigs, they got to make at least $5-6 a day a card. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Okay.
Like I'm just being honest, and
No,
I don't even think. In the ETH days, I think 3090s were doing what was the peak on 3090s? They were like what, 12, $13 a day a card?
No, maybe like 15, 16. They were pretty high.
They were pretty high, right?
Yeah,
So
they were up there.
I mean, for me, I look at things a little differently, and plus, obviously now that we have a hosting company, I have 4 4090s in an Octo server, okay, and that costs me about $100-something a month to run on top of what I make, and on Vast it's making, I'll tell you guys, making like $600 a month after I pay power. So go ahead.
No. So I wanted to just pivot into that. So my plan is to go to that route. Like I think that is the future. Like these 170 HXs, they're a means to an end for me, right? Like I converted the 3070s to 170 HXs. The goal is when it gets to whatever it's going to get to for GPUs. I'm going to dump all of them, and I'm going to try to get as many 5090s as I can, even though I probably won't be able to get any. Like, my goal for launch is to get like 3. 1 for me and 2 for a Vast.ai, which is going to be the future. Am I going to get them? That's a whole nother conversation.
That's gonna be hard to get. That's gonna be really hard to get.
I am NDA'd out the ass for the things I know about that card. And I can tell you, what I can tell you is that the supply is going to be dog shit. Yeah. Like, utter dog shit. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get them. And I have meetings at CES with every major GPU manufacturer except for NVIDIA. And I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get two or three 5090s. I'm terrified. I don't know how I'm going to get them. Like,
I can tell you this, that
Octo server will have them.
Octo server is going to have them, and we as a company, we have, you guys, everybody knows we got baseline compute, so we've been looking into getting those as well. But I think the point is though, I think the 4090s will still be in play for a while. 100%. I don't think, I mean, we went ahead and purchased the bigger Jeep. We purchased a few L40S. Like, you're talking like the card, one of the hottest cards. And they're just, to this day, they're great. They run, they make money, but they're not as popular as the 4090. So as far from a cost basis. So I think the 4090 is going to still do good. I think that people getting into the next crypto mining or GPU mining run should build their rigs to do both. You should be able to do a little bit of compute and a little bit of mining, and then really maximize those profits. Because look, Vast.ai, they had it in 2017 where if your rig wasn't on a job, you could do a script in the background and run ETH mining. I mean, there was a few people that were doing it, and that's how a lot of people made a lot more money. You can still do it. No, I know you can. You can still do it.
Though, but
I personally don't like to do it either, because it puts a lot of stress on the cards. But because you can't overclock them. But you know, there are ways to do that, and I feel like, you know, we see it with Flux trying to develop stuff now. You see, there's a lot more marketplaces coming online. I think mining and machine learning are going to come hand in hand, and I think that it's going to be great, because you got 4090s kick ass if you want to mine and you got cheap power.
That's the only GPU that can do that right now. Like, you can't do it on a 4080. 30 series is dead. Like, I don't think people realize.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, that you have to do the 4090, right?
And you can't get, like, here's the thing. There's a reason, okay? So there is a reason that if you look at crypto mining purchases over the last 2 years, hardware, we're just talking straight hardware, I would argue that maybe an L9 like Hawk said, or an L7, those are the only things that were more valuable than a 4090. Like, a 4090, what you paid on launch day, you're selling it for more now, and it's basically at end of life. And when I say end of life, I mean end of.
Well, they're the only ASICs that never went unprofitable for most people, around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cents. Majority of the country.
But that's what I'm trying to say, is like, a GPU was a better store of value.
Oh yeah, well ASIC. Yeah, of course. Well, GPUs will always retain their value better than ASICs.
But they don't. The only GPUs right now that are retaining their value, it's funny, there are two: the 4090 and the 3070. And the 3070 just because you bought it for dog shit. But if you look at the 40 series, every 40 series GPU has tanked in value, but the 4090.
Well, right. Well, that's just
AI.
Go ahead.
I think that people are waiting to sell their GPUs, okay, for this bull run. And we had a huge supply chain issue then, you know what I mean?
Ain't happening this time.
And people who want to sell like their 580s and 1660 supers, okay, those things are still going to be. They're going to be worthless, okay?
Yeah. But King's right.
But I just see like cards that are like 4090s. Yeah, they're going to hold their value, okay? 100%. You know what I mean? And I made a strategic play for it as well. You know what I mean? I'm doing about 150 to 175 until I get my other cards in, which should be coming in soon. They're the last 4090 Octo server cards, because I just talked to them. So, but that's, I honestly, like, I don't get why people don't like to do the AI stuff, because they're like, oh, it's not crypto. I'm like, okay, but in the end, what is your goal?
That's like, the future. Like, that's you're 100%. You and Hawk are 100% right. Like, the only reason I'm not more into AI right now is because I can't get them. Like, the 170 HXs are in my opinion, are going to be one of maybe 3 or 4 GPUs that will go up in price in the bull run. Like people say 30 series are going up, they're not going up. Like maybe a few bucks, but like for the 30 series to go up, the 40 series has to completely disappear. The 50 series has to be so expensive it's unminable, and then the 30 series has to disappear. The 30 series is literally like the new Polaris GPUs, or like cockroaches.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. For the 3070s to go up in price, you need to have Marathon buy 1 million of them, and that ain't gonna happen.
So Ploxel or Ploxel, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, says AI is in crypto, but here's what you can do: you can use the money that you get from the machine learning and purchase whatever crypto you want, and that will still yield a higher return than mining it, depending on if it's a newer project or not. There's a lot of factors in there, but generally, it's a strategy.
But isn't the whole point to make money off of your GPUs by having them? And that's what AI does.
I'm just talking about from a crypto perspective.
That's what I was trying to get across in my point earlier was you're buying GPUs because you want to get some kind of financial gain, whether it's now or later, okay? So what you could do is get into AI, okay? Take the money that you make from profit, because it is very good. Most AI equipment from 4090s will pay you off under a year, okay? No other thing is going to pay GPUs off that quick.
Yeah,
on the
right
planet.
now, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Doesn't exist.
Listen,
Okay? Take that and invest it in dog shit coin, okay? And it'll go 100x, and then you're a millionaire. All right, have fun. You know what I mean?
All
Listen,
set says yes, the 5090 is the way to go. Buy 1 million of them. All set. I don't think you understand. The 5090 is going to be literally the best value AI card the instant it hits the market. There's going to be no supply. I am literally in contact. I'm trying to establish a partnership with Micro Center so I can buy one. Like I am taking off of work for 2 days to travel to every Micro Center in my area. I live close to like 4 of them, to get as many as I can, because you're gonna get 1 day to buy these things. I mean, Hawk and King, you guys probably have access to a way to purchase them. I'm sure you're seeing the same thing.
We're exploring it with a manufacturer.
And there's
But
probably
that's
no-
just it. Yeah. The companies that are reselling them to you are going to have trouble buying them. I mean,
Yeah.
That's
And
the
I've
problem.
heard-
And then the scalpers are going to lose their fucking minds.
Oh,
They're going to be
scalpers are gonna
$4,000.
They're gonna-
fucking eat shit.
yeah.
I don't ever want to hear that the crypto mining community or whatever machine learning community, whatever you guys want to call it, is responsible for the prices of GPUs, because they're not. It's the scalpers that set the wave, and that's what
Nvidia,
happened last
too.
bull run. People fucking $3,000, $3,200 for a 3090, and that was
Also,
crazy. I
so
paid
what-
$1,700 for a 3060 Ti,
One thing I hate,
like an idiot when I
No,
started.
No, one thing I hate is when people blame scalpers. You know whose fault it is? You. If you bought a GPU off a fucking scalper, it is your fault. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't buy it, there's no fucking market for it. You
Yeah,
pay.
I saw a few scalpers that got caught holding the bag on GPUs after the market
so-
dipped,
So
Yeah.
look,
and they got
guys
effed.
got to get smart, okay? Look, I strategically went. Look, 2021 hit. Okay, GPUs were not buyable. All right, unless you got it from a
As
scalper.
you, I was getting them every day.
Okay, no. Well, no, that was everybody else. What I did was to say, I found a small little computer shop guy who had access to direct distribution, and I would get cases of GPU shipped to my doorstep.
We bought it and exploited the
See?
shit out of everything, man. We DDoS Zotac.
You got to be smart about it.
DDoS Zotac.
Oh yeah, dude. What you would have to do to buy from Zotac? You would open. I one time to get 2 3070s. I had 300 windows open on Chrome. I was building computers with like 256 gigs of DDR4 RAM, so I could DDoS the fuck out of Zotac to get my cards.
Dude, man, all the bots, like it's already starting again.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like Mike and I were this thing, Mr. GPU Risers. We were looking at NVIDIA because they were releasing. This was like 6 months ago. They were releasing just another order to get 4090s, and we were trying to get some for the company. So I had to go to Best Buy. I ordered some under me because you could only get 2, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's like King ordered a few, Frank ordered a few. I even had my girl order a few because we were still looking before we had to connect with a manufacturer. And now that we have that connect with the manufacturer, it's a little different now. But it was bad, man. It's the GPU miners. Hawk says broskies. Yeah, no, I don't think so, man. I don't think it's the GPU miners at all. I think that the GPUs are available for everybody. You can choose to buy it, or you can choose not to buy it. It's not like
You don't have to buy these things. They're luxury products.
like exactly. Like I don't know if a lot of people like I know avid gamers, okay, people that game for a living, people that I know people that even did it for a living, like DJ and a few others that used to do it. You know, these are the guys that'll build these monster rigs, you know, 7950 X3 X3Ds with like 128 256 gigs of RAM, DDR5 with a 4090 and 4 terabyte hard drives, you know, just massive beast computers, right, to play games on. But average Joes aren't going to do that. They're not just going to go buy like a single mom or a parents that, you know, make a combined 100 grand a year for their household are not going to go buy a $3,000 GPU for their kid.
The 5090 isn't a gaming GPU. And I tell people that and they get really fucking mad at me. And I'm going to have a lot of streams on that in the next few weeks, but it's not a gaming GPU. I will have one for gaming, but most people will not have one of these for gaming. Like if you're a gamer,
well, it's designed for the gamers. It's what it's going to be designed for.
You're right. It's designed for the gamers, but Hawk, you know as well as I do.
Of course.
It's just a shitty binned, what is it? H100. They're just the bottom of the barrel binned H100s that are going to bought up by every AI person on the planet. Like if you guys thought that crypto mining was bad for GPUs, you ain't seen nothing yet. AI is going to destroy this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, destroy it? I don't know.
Okay, so when I say destroy, let me rephrase.
That's a little, I'm just saying that's a little, for me, that's a little like, all right, I destroy it.
I'm talking from a gamer's perspective, and I don't have any problem with AI. I think AI is the future, but as someone who's in both sides of the spaces, I don't like there's gamers are going to look back and say, I wish we had crypto miners.
But I mean, most gamers though are looking just for most of the time the middle of the road card. Okay,
yeah,
like the Battle Mage cards, the new Intel cards, great GPUs for gamers. Middle of the road, you know, a few $100. You know what I mean? That's what most people are going to pay for a card. Okay,
yeah, but the
gamers have to spend $5,000 like me and build a custom hardline loop water cooled computer. Okay,
yeah, but
bending. Okay, they're not doing that. You know,
but they like to talk about it.
Gamers they do. They like to see it and talk about it. But I mean, little Timmy next door isn't going to spend $5,000 on in just like 1,200 parts on just water cooling. Okay?
I would argue that the dumbest gamers are people like me who have to have the 90 series card because I have to get another 15 FPS at 4K native. I'm an idiot. NVIDIA's taking advantage of me.
Now I'm letting this computer last me like 10 years.
Oh no,
yeah, dude. I got a 3090 running right now, and it's just let it have it. I ain't doing anything past that.
In this PC is yesterday's news. I'm over this thing. I need my 5090 and then my 5090 Ti and then my 50 Ti Super because I'm an idiot. I will have the best GPU.
Most people aren't like that. There is people who like to have the best stuff, and I know that there's people out there like that.
And we're dumb.
It happens.
I'm like that. I listen. If I do something, I like to have the best of the best. But and I get it. I can understand his mentality. I'm like that. But
here's another thing too, though, for the AI industry. Okay, is like with Rock'em. Okay, and it getting vast more support. Okay, and they're bringing more GPUs into Rock'em. All right, which means more AMD cards will be able to use for AI. And if people didn't see like some of the teasers from AMD, they don't really care about little Timmys in AI. Okay, they're about data centers. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're I think was it the MI350X or is it the next one up? I can't remember. They had a presentation of it. It's going to be 35x, not 35%, 35x of the H200.
And those
next year.
Those GPUs, by the way, if you guys want to know why we're getting Blackwell this early, you can thank AMD because NVIDIA would not have released Blackwell if AMD didn't force their hand. They would have waited another year. Like, we are lucky that NVIDIA, that Lisa Su was like forced Jensen's hand, basically, because we were not supposed to get Blackwell this early.
Well, same thing with the AI industry. Microsoft's making their own chips now. A
lot of
these big players are starting to get away from NVIDIA so that they aren't dependent on them to push these AI data centers out there.
Hey, just letting you know that M3 Pro that's in my laptop is kick ass from Apple. By the way, I'm just saying, dude, it's a great CPU and how they do their GPU stuff and all that on one. Really
I've been gaming on the B580 Battle Mage for the last week. That $280 card is incredible. Like, Intel, it sucks at mining. It's the biggest piece of shit on the planet for mining, but that thing is going to change the game for gaming because gaming under $400 for new GPUs is garbage right now until Intel came.
Right.
A
yeah.
lot of people sleep on AMD, man.
Yeah.
The AMD cards have come a long way.
They have. They're good. They definitely have.
So like AMD announced that they're not making any more flagship cards either, right? Because they're not. They announced that a little while back.
What are you talking about? They're you mean highest Halo SKU cards?
Yes.
They'll be back for RDNA 5.
So I think because this is the focus is the budget arena, right? That's where the sales are. There's not many guys other than people buying 4090s for AI compute workloads. None of the higher cards are being sought out for gaming. Yes, there are some guys that do that, but the percentage is very, very
for the
small.
most part, it's budget and mid-tier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think Intel's plan was very smart. They're not going for that big tier. They're like literally striking exactly the budget builders, which is exactly what they need to go for.
You know, in a parallel universe, I was really hoping that EVGA, you know, or like Kingpin would have went like to Intel and said, "Let's build something." That would have been beast, man.
Yeah.
So the guy, the CEO of EVGA literally said, "Fuck it, I'm retiring," and he wouldn't sell the business, is what I heard. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of ego there too, though, between him and Nvidia. I did cover the story. There was a little bit of ego between their relationship had it been for so long, and Nvidia was a little bit of a bully, but he could have played ball for the sake of his company, and he just didn't want to. So, you know, I kind of felt like the biggest fuck you to me would have been like, sue me. I'm going to the competitors, and I'm going to take EVGA. I'm going to go to AMD or Intel, and I'm going to take Kingpin with me. I'm going to take Vinny, and we're going to go make a badass fucking Intel card, and I'll see you in fucking court. And if the sales were that,
You imagine a Kingpin Radeon 7?
Like, but think about it. Like, if the sales were,
it's like a contradiction. A Kingpin
right.
Radeon 7.
Right, but if the sales were that good for Intel, and let's say EVGA went that way and Kingpin went over there to help them, they would have front load all that cost to fight them in court. They wouldn't care because because that would have helped. I just felt like they had EVGA made a really good product, and I don't know. I guess the kids didn't want it, or whoever didn't want it in his family, and then it just kind of went. Which
you know what's funny? The reason I think I was able to sell all my 3070 so fast is because I don't know how it ended up this way, but 99% of my cards were EVGA, and people were like buying them up. Like, I had EVGA 3060 Ti selling for more than Zotac 3070 Ti's.
Yeah.
We lose King? Looks like it.
Probably.
Him and that amazing internet of his. I'll just pull him off for now.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Oh, are you guys done getting 4090s? Like, are you not able to?
We can't get any.
I didn't think so.
We can't get any. They stopped production in October.
Manufacturing them now, right?
Yeah, they stopped. Well, they halted production. I don't know if they stopped completely. I don't know why. But we're already eyeing an order for the 5090s already. So I'm not sure if finance is. I deal with just the a lot of the marketing and stuff and new clients and stuff. When it comes to like it's funny because sometimes I don't even sit in meetings with King or Mike when they go make these wild purchases for like servers and stuff. I don't sit in. I just find out later. As an owner, I'm privy to the information, but I don't. That's their department. They handle it. I got enough on my plate to to worry about other stuff. But I know that they're eyeing the 5090s right now. I think they're going to get ready to place an order here soon on them. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know if you can talk about this, but I heard just through like actually crypto sources that to buy 5090s you had to buy like other 50 series SKUs too. Did you hear anything like that?
I don't know anything about that.
Like I said, this is just secondhand information. I don't know if it's accurate or not.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound right to me, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, King, you're back now. I said King, when they do the data center stuff, like what we have in Melbourne, they all kind of hold their own meetings on it. Then they'll just call me afterward and be like, yeah, hey, we bought all these. Can you help us set it up? Sure, no problem. I'll drive up there. So I don't really, get involved too much with when they're buying stuff. So, I just take care of everything else with onboarding clients and customer service and all that stuff. So, but King, now that you're here though, are we planning to onboard the 5090s at all? Do you know? Do you have any? Did you talk to Mike or Frank about that?
Not that I'm aware of yet. I'm sure we will though. But
yeah, Mike and Frank are probably getting ready to start eyeing an order for it. As soon as we hear that they're because I know they're in production. They obviously are in production. They sell millions of them.
They've had to have been for months now.
So
yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, Harry quoted me for the same 9-card rig, but for 5090s, I think was another 10,000
on top of it. What you paid
on
prior?
top of what I paid, so it'd be like 35,000.
What are you seeing, like 22 to 2,500 a card basically at this point?
I think around 2,800 a card. I think is where they're going to sit at.
Wow.
Holy shit!
Probably for the consumer, for like the consumer, like
MSRP,
Best Buy purchase 28. Yeah, right around there. I mean,
I thought we were gonna hit. I thought 22 was the number, but
no, I think the 4090s will stay above $2,000 for a little while.
I believe that. 100%.
Maybe 1900, 2000. I mean, they're gonna hover there. It's all gonna depend on supply and demand. I mean,
there's still a great compute card, but yeah, they're just too in my opinion, they're too expensive to hold on.
Well,
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know anywhere where you can get like a decently priced 4090 right now. Octo servers, they're no longer going to offer them anymore. I got literally the last batch from them.
You could. There was a while like in September, no, like the middle to end of the summer where you could easily get them for like $1,800 if you wanted them, but people were just kind of like, maybe I'll wait for the 5090, and then everything kind of started to hit the fan. And people realized that, like, oh shit, 5090s are going to cost a fuck ton of money. I should be buying 4090s, and then the rest is history.
Now they're all gone and price go up.
Well, and it's funny, like the 5080 is going to have less VRAM, and people aren't happy about it. And I'm like, you should be very happy about it because AI people aren't going to want it, and you're actually going to be able to buy a 4090 for gaming.
Yeah, they were saying the 5080 Super is going to be better than the 4090 for a majority of workloads.
Yeah, but the regular 5080, they're only saying it's going to have like 16 gigs of VRAM, which you guys wouldn't use that for AI, right?
Wasn't there was a YouTuber who released a video testing the 5090 already? Who was this? Hold on.
Who was it?
There was somebody that did one already.
He
had like an exclusive.
People probably, I believe it. I mean, there's NDAs. Like I said, there's already NDAs out there that people are signing, and stuff has. I mean, I can't say anymore, actually.
I'm trying to see who it was. I gotta find this video. There was somebody who was already looking at the 5090 and doing testing on it. They had an exclusive one from NVIDIA. I think they had a deal, but they even so hold on. So if AMD's not doing the flagship cards anymore, they just announced an 8800 XT.
But so like the 8800 XT is basically going to be like a $500 7900 XTX. Like they're giving up just this generation. They're going to release 2 dies, N44 and N48, and the highest SKU is basically just going to be like an RDNA refresh. They're going for like the next Polaris generation is what I think they're trying to do. So it's really just NVIDIA, like the 5090 and the 5080 are going to be the only basically Halo SKU GPUs this generation.
So Zapirate asked me, he asked both of us, he goes, so 85090s or 2 L9s? I got the point on the L9. Dude, I don't know, man. Huh?
Well, I would say that for profitability, definitely the L9s. But like, do you think the L9s will hold their value?
I think the 5090s will make more than the L9. 85090s will make way more than an L9.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is in terms of value, like, because the 5090 in terms of GPU mining is going to be garbage value because it's going to be the same memory hash rate as a 170HX.
Well, okay, well, time out a second. Are we talking straight, Zapire, give me a little bit more clarification here. Are you talking just dollars, period, what it's going to make? Are we talking crypto? Huh?
I mean, probably in fiat in general. I mean, 5090, you're going to get more putting it on an AI workload than you will mine.
100%. Those 5090s.
Just about any card right now.
So, so eight. You should be getting decently priced 84090 should be going for about $50 a day, one rig, right? 84090s, right around it. It's what should be plus or minus 5%. So you should definitely do at least $100 a day on 85090s. If they're 50% higher in workload, in performance, I think that they'll do at least $75 to $100 a day. Let's just say it's $75 a day, right?
But could you
on
get
the lower end? Well, yeah, I mean, you have to get them, right? But I'm just saying from a profitability standpoint,
you're doing a side-by-side comparison of specs.
The other thing is too is there's a few things to consider. Okay, one is going to be your warranty period. You're going to have a real manufacturer's warranty from your 5090 AIB partner, whoever you buy them from, right? Or if you get them all founders, right? You're going to have a good warranty, right? Where, hey, you got a problem with the card, you send it back to NVIDIA, Gigabyte, whoever. Not all of them are great, you know what I mean? Some of the AIBs suck, you know what I mean? But at least they're real companies, okay?
Yeah.
You got a problem, you know what I mean? You can go after them, okay? Okay, so here's the other thing. L9, you only get a 180-day warranty on it, okay? And that's through a Chinese company. I'm just saying, okay, there's sometimes scrapped units, things happen, okay? Okay, I had an L9 I just put on when I was in Kansas, okay? Had a broken fan straight out of the box. Had to do a fan repair. Hadn't even been turned. I just literally plugged it in. All you hear is the fan just chewing itself, you know what I mean? So it happens, okay? So it's like, and then the other thing, think about it from this way, from retaining its value, okay? When it goes into the bear market, your L9 is going to tank in price as far as holding its value, okay? It's going to go way down.
Correct.
The 5090s are going to store their value for a very, very long time.
100%.
Okay?
They'll be a little bit more consistent. Correct. But I had a guy buy L7s for $4,000 a piece, and he bought it 2 years ago, and he's been mining on them. He's made a fuck ton of money, and he can sell them used right now for $7,000 a piece. So timing is everything.
Yeah.
And another thing
in the ASIC game,
build on what Hawk said too, is you're not gonna get 85090s. I don't care who you are. Maybe
you will
Tara
eventually.
Will
You will eventually.
Yeah. Well,
eventually, you will.
With 4090s, they were just as difficult to get for a while there too.
No, people. I mean, if you have a direct distribution, you can get them. You have to place an order.
Well, like the 4090s were never. I mean, so yes, like I owned a few of them, but they were never like easy to get in the whole lifespan of the card, I would say.
Really? I mean, I went to Best Buy. I ordered 4 of the MSI Slims, which are the best ones that fit in the server cases, and I got mine pretty quick. I would have bought more if I had the money at the time.
When I knew the guy that I knew back then, and I haven't talked to him in a really long time.
Phone calls.
But when I was making purchases for GPUs, I would have to buy 12, a minimum of 12, and I could get literally any card on the planet that I wanted. I bought 1237. Huh?
That's through Disty, right? That's not like going to Best Buy,
Yes.
going to Micro Center. That's going to like
That's distribution,
an Ingram
right?
Micro or a TD Synex or like a D&H, like directly through distribution.
Like to be fair, I've never had a hard time buying GPUs. My biggest mistake was not starting YouTube when my Discord server had like 6,000 people in it, and we were just helping people get GPUs. We had every site cracked, whatever, right? Never was an issue for me. I have never been more afraid about missing a GPU launch than the 5090. And I hit a 3090 launch day. Like 7 people did. I hit a 3090 launch day. I've never missed a launch of a GPU. Every GPU launches, I get them launch day. I am terrified about the 5090 launch.
You know, one thing I'll say is a lot of people who have 4090s, you know, if crypto mining makes a comeback for GPUs, you have the boss of boss cards still at a 4090. And if it goes to a point where it's making more than the machine learning averages are showing, because right now I think I'm doing 25 cents an hour on one GPU. I have 4 of them, so it comes out to about $25 a day. And you know, if it goes better than that, I mean, you have a beast of a card. And let me tell you something: in the bull run, nobody give a fuck about efficiency. Just being honest, nobody cares.
Workloads. You've got a 4090 rig, you said.
4090 rig, yeah.
Are those mining? Those are on Vast, right?
They're Vast, yeah. Vast.
So
they're doing
mining
machine learning
with
workloads. They're not mining.
Okay.
4090s make like $2 a day right now mining. They're terrible.
Yeah, well, right now they do, but let's just say there's a 50% ETH coin that comes out I mean, people who have 4090s are going to win. Your 3070s are going to get wrecked hard. Unless you got 5-cent power, you're going to get destroyed.
4090s and 170 HXs are going to destroy everything.
Oh, 100%.
Mining wise, yeah.
They're because like you figure a core. So like I don't think there's room in the GPU mining space for core coins anymore because they get the ASIC companies crack them, make ASICs, and like you guys all said, a community-driven ASIC project dies or gets destroyed.
Yusuf,
right?
that's no. Sorry, I have to answer this, Groot. Sorry, Yusuf, that's salad. Hyroot says, I must say this has been the longest, most in-depth stream in a long time. Good show. It does lack some good-natured shit talking.
Yeah. But but to me, the best time to buy ASICs though is going to be in the bear market though.
Yeah.
It's not right
It
now.
always is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
That's when you load up. I
Yeah.
was telling how many times with Geek of all trades with his yellow 1990s fucking glasses on. How many times did I say he said shit talking, so I was throwing one in there. So
We're waiting for
how
These
many
are blue
times did I
blockers,
say
thank
on
you.
live? Huh?
Said these are the blue blockers. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So how many times did I say in the bear market, if you're gonna get ASICs, buy more. Do it now. Get the L9. It's $6,000. Once the election happens, it's over. I've said it. I said it. I said it. I said it. Now, forget it. It's over.
So it was the same thing with GPUs. Like 170 HXs in the ETH bear bull at the height were $15,000 GPUs. You can get them for $300 to $400 right now.
The BC 250s. I mean, those 4U12Gs.
Burn
the
those
full
fuckers.
chassis. Those were 12-15 grand.
Yeah,
Right.
you know how many people got destroyed on those fucking things? Like,
Yeah.
oh
What do you
my
get a
God.
3090 for right now?
What?
What's that?
What do you get a 3090 for right now?
$350,
$600.
$400.
Six.
$400? Is
You
that what
can't
they're
get
selling?
a 3090 for $400.
Oh, really? Oh, I paid like
3090?
$375.
So everybody
yeah.
can find some guy, but like look at eBay. 600 is the average to get them in any kind of quantity.
Yeah.
Is it really?
All
Okay,
my
hold on.
3090s that I got less than 6 months ago were $500 or less each.
All right, so I'm seeing 800, 700 sold.
Yeah. Now,
I had that.
now they are.
No,
Okay.
but like they've been holding 3090s and 3090 Ti's have been fucking annoying because they've been worth way more than they should be because they have all the fucking VRAM
You're not wrong.
for shitty Vast. They're like shitty Vast cards.
I wouldn't. They do great on salad. I mean, for vast. See, here's the thing. Like, if people want to build AI rigs, like I was thinking about I bought a bunch of those 3090s, thinking that
Mr.
all these are a
3090.
better budget, huh?
You're Mr. 3090.
I was for a while. I got a good deal on a few different people who hit me up in the community. Like, hey, I'll buy those. Like, I went and bought a bunch for everybody, front loaded the money if they needed it, and then I went and gave it to everybody and didn't care. But I realized that Vast is they're always ahead. So you have to go on there, look at the statistics of who's got what. There's still a lot of 3090s on Vast.ai, don't get me wrong, and they do get workloads.
Yeah.
But nah, man, never again. I'm never going a generation behind again.
Are you can't.
I'm
So
never doing it.
the only time
It
you
was
can
it
go
was
a
good idea
generation-
then. It wasn't great idea now.
The only time you can do it is on something like the 170 HX, which is theoretically ampere, but if you look at what it does on memory, it's so far ahead of the game. Like for example, 170 HX gets 200 mega hash on ETC. I'm only using ETC because we all know ETH hash rates of a 3070. The 40 King, you're technical, you'll get it. You all are probably too, but the 5090 will probably do about 190-ish on ETC on memory. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna do on core, but like memory, you're looking about like the same as the 170 HX, give or take.
I don't.
So
I
like
don't know.
that's the only reason I'm going a generation behind.
Right, but so this is
I'm
why
so
I don't
behind
like
with
those. I don't like mining cards.
yeah,
I
they're
don't.
stuck at reselling and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're stuck in a mining market then, okay, where my 4090s I can go settle a gamer for a premium, right?
Yeah, but
I do-
I paid so little for these things. Like I paid $400 for these things. There's
Yeah,
no
but
way
they're
I'm
just
losing.
getting, they're just getting older though. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
they're older, but
Just
in
like
terms of
investing in ASICs, you're stuck in an ecosystem, so you don't have
Sure.
that. I mean, well, not necessarily. So 170 HXs, can you use those for AI? Like traditionally,
no,
like
they're-
Where are they?
realistically-
Aren't they bin 3080s?
what?
The 170HX is king. What are they? What are they closest to? 3080s, no?
No, they're not close to anything. They're like their own thing. 90HX would be
the 90HXs were something like that, but not the 170s.
They were the
What are the 170s? They're not their own design. The CMP cards were.
No, the
CMP
170s are. They're like
Are
a
they
special,
really?
Yeah, they're special.
I thought the CMP cards are just the ones that couldn't make it to be graphics cards. And they turned them into mining
But see,
cards.
they cut down on. I can't remember if it's the tensor cores or.
It's a
Oh, they did.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So you
don't
can't.
remember.
They can't be used for AI workloads. So to me, they hold no value. And honestly, like I said, I don't think GPU mining is going to make that much of a comeback. Because if anything becomes mildly profitable by even like $1, okay, everybody is going to go to it, okay, and then it's not going to be $1 anymore.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna go find the other one that everybody left, and now it's $1. Now they're gonna go over here.
Listen, by the time Panda makes a video, it's done. It's dead already.
Effect. Exactly.
My
Panda's already
plan-
been mining it for 2 weeks. He makes a video, everybody jumps to it.
That's what I said to him the other day.
And then he rinse repeats.
I said the other day, I said, you're only telling us about these coins after you mine a fuck ton of them already.
So the plan on
Not a
these,
bad
if you
plan.
look at what a 170HX costs on eBay, they're going for like $600-700 right now. So I could already sell them for a profit.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah, they are.
So-
Because
so
no one
Zap-
can get them in the US.
So
You can only get 'em-
Zapirate saying that the 170HX is an A100 with a weak core. NVIDIA chopped it to nothing.
Oh, there you go.
So
He's pretty
do you
smart, too.
guys think that the 5090 is going to be low on production quantities on purpose? Like,
Yeah,
are
they're
they doing
shitty-
this because they're shifting a lot of one, they're creating a a supply demand issue, but two, they're also shifting a lot of these chips in production to AI workloads that are being directed towards more enterprise customers?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
because they don't want people buying 5090s to do AI workloads, which is why they didn't increase the memory that much. It only went up by very little. You know,
Yeah, but
Is
they're-
it 32?
yeah,
But,
it-
but the
or-
memory's
yeah.
way more
Yeah.
than I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to use 2 gig of.
it's
2
not
gig
going to keep
modules.
going up though, because like then they're directly competing with themselves and
Yeah.
their enterprise solutions that they offer.
The
You know what I mean?
The
It
B200?
was.
Was that it? On the
No,
enterprise
but-
side, it's compatible with what, the B200?
I don't know.
No, you mean you're talking about when they start getting up in higher VRAM? It'll compete with the L40s.
No. But
That
King,
are
what,
48 gigabytes of VRAM.
Okay.
But King, I was surprised that they have this much memory because to piggyback off what you said, I thought they were only going to have 28 gigs of VRAM because if they actually did go with the third, like with more, you're competing with yourself on AI because like if the 5090 is spec'd and I at what the rumors are saying it's going to be the best value AI card in the history of man.
Eventually there's going to come a tipping point where they're not going to do that anymore because, well, one, okay, do you realize that all of the GPU servers, okay, that hold for AI, you realize that they have to be a 2-slot width, okay?
Yeah,
They
isn't
do
the
that.
50
They do that for a reason
Yeah.
to block them from coming in data centers, like real data centers, right? Because if it can't fit in the case, they're not going to let you do it, okay? But there is some Chinese ones, out there, some cheaper ones that are like, humongous, you know what I mean, where you can put regular cards in them and stuff. But yeah, that's why they do that stuff, is to, inhibit people from building essentially 5090 AI rigs on the cheap instead of buying their enterprise solutions that are like, 2 to 3x, the price.
But
You know what I
King,
mean?
isn't the 50? So I don't know if you followed the rumors, but the 5090 Founders is supposed to be a 2-slot 3 PCB card, and I don't know how the hell they're doing that.
A
But-
2-slot? Well, I mean,
It's
It's
taller.
2-slot 3 PCB or 3 board PCB design. I don't know how the fuck they're doing that.
I haven't been keeping up on the 59, to be honest. I've
Okay.
been really busy with learning how to repair boards.
Repair ASICs, learning how to crack Bitmain's code.
I can only learn so much of something, at one time. You know what I mean?
It's
just
okay.
like
It's okay. Somebody from the company will ask him how to do it, and then he'll figure it out.
He'll end up going down that rabbit hole, yeah.
Yeah, he'll
for
just
sure.
dive into it one night.
Well, we're coming up
man.
on 2.5 hours, guys, on this stream. It's been a really good stream, and
Yeah.
Want to keep going for a little bit longer, but a couple things. We got 126 people in here right now and only 57 likes. So smash that like button, guys. And if you're over on Twitter, come on, join us over on YouTube. I want to ask you guys a question, and I think I know the answer for Hawk and Fix It Timmy over here. But Crude Man, what is a higher value for you, your crypto bags or your bank account?
Not my crypto bags. I am the biggest pussy in crypto mining known to man. I will, if the top is here, I'm selling down here. Yeah. I am the biggest pussy in crypto mining. I have a decent bag, but I will never leverage crypto mining to hurt my well-being. Everything I have in crypto, I could lose it tomorrow and not give a shit.
Yeah,
that's good. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys, probably going to lose views. You're probably going to hate me. Crypto is a means to more fiat to me. Fiat.
Oh, he's going
to get paid, right?
But I don't give a fuck.
I have more. I have more. On the contrary, actually, I have more in crypto than I have in liquid at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, I have a lot in Bitcoin currently. I did put a lot in to put
Smart
away.
Man, you probably did it 15K.
No, I wish. Jeez, be a different. We'll all have different conversations.
I guess that depends. Does that include traditional investing like stocks and all that other stuff? Is that what you mean?
No.
As far as,
no.
or do you mean, or
versus your bank account, savings
versus?
Yeah, or like money you can touch right now.
Liquid cash, liquid
fiat,
cash.
No, I know. I have a lot.
Everybody's getting red. He's asking this question.
I have a bunch
of red in the fucking face. Keeping our mouths shut.
I have a bunch of USDC.
I'm poor.
Okay, that like from selling all the Z15s, I moved it all over to Coinbase to get that 5%.
Nice. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Cosmos is giving 14% right now.
Yeah.
Then
Cosmos always gets taking.
Fucking turbo.
Actually, you know what? I'm probably like maybe like a 60-40 split right now.
Okay.
60 on cash, 40 crypto. Yeah. That's probably my split right now.
Hey, Geek, can I ask a question real quick to you guys?
Please do.
What is the crypto, Hawk, King, and Geek? What is the current crypto you have made the most on? The coin that you made the most on?
From the start of mining.
From your start of your mining journey, whatever year, what is the one that you've made the most of?
Made the most on as far
like
as
pure profit.
As far as
like value, because I didn't sell it yet.
Sure, value, like whatever, whether you sold it, whether you have it, and it's the biggest bag. That's worth the most.
Kaspa.
What'd you say, Hawk?
Lithium.
King.
Ethereum.
Mine's either Ethereum or Kaspa.
I made a fuck ton on a lithium.
You smart fuckers who mine that thing
and I haven't
early?
sold it yet. Patrick Murphy says I'm not allowed to sell until it goes to $10. So
you guys, all right, and then one more. Your biggest regret in mining. I'll start. Mine was not triple mining Kaspa, ZIL, and ETH. I was one of those dumb fuckers that sat on ETH and did nothing else. ETH to Ethermine to my cold storage wallet. I didn't do Kaspa. I didn't do ZIL. I was a dumb fuck.
Ploxel says the real question is, do you have more in crypto than your house is worth? No.
Absolutely not. Not even close.
What was your question again, Crute? Sorry, I'm
no. What was your biggest regret or dumbest thing you've done in crypto? And mine was not triple mining ETH with ZIL and Kaspa.
Dumbest thing I ever did was pay $22,000 for an L7 when I started. I don't think anybody can top that.
How about you, Geek?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably not mining or converting more into Bitcoin last bull run. I did the same thing. I was all on ETH, and you remember that time? I think it was either early 2023. Yeah, it was early 2023 when USDC was depegged for a very short time.
I didn't buy any of it.
So USDC was depegged, and I freaked out because it was right around the FTX time, and I fucking cashed all of it out, and I moved all my ETH to USDC, and I fucking put a whole bunch of money into building sheds and doing other shit at home, and like 3 days later, everything went back to normal. So
King, how about you?
I don't have any regrets.
All right, here, I'll
Not
tell
one
you guys
word.
another one.
Yeah, he does. It was starting a mining company with me.
I'll tell you
It's,
another one that makes me a stupid fuck. I moved my entire farm. At the time, it was like 150 GPUs all when ETH was done. You know what I moved it to? ETC, like an idiot. And I mined ETC for 3 months, and I paid for power out of pocket. I need
okay.
ETC has to go to like 150 bucks for me to get my money back on that. And I didn't mind fucking half of it till November.
I spoke to Son of a Tech when Casper released, and me and Matt had a conversation, and he said, buy as much of it as you can. Get as much of it, mine as much of it as you can, and hold.
Did you?
No, I did 100,000, and that was it.
That's still more than most people.
I could have went in the millions. At the size of my farm was 400 GPUs. I could have went in the millions. And
I mined Caspa for 3 months, and then I sold half of it to pay a $300 power bill.
ouch.
And that was what, like 4 decimal points from a penny? You remember that? Like
Yeah.
November of 23 or 22? 22, November 22.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink.
I
that.
just-
did early 23 on all GPUs. About
But there was
1.5
other-
gigahash worth of ETH hash rate. I pushed over to Kaspa for probably 2 months. Same kind of thing. It's funny. I did a new coin every day for the entire month of December, right? For 2 years in a row, 2022
I remember
and
that.
2023. In 2022, in one day, with about 1.5 gigahash worth of ETH, in ETH terms, all of those GPUs over to Kaspa, I did 900 Kaspa in a day. So if I'd have just let that shit ride, where would I be today? Sitting a lot prettier than I am now.
I mean,
right?
dude, I sold I had 20,000 honey tokens, okay? All right. And I sold right before it pumped. It would have been like 40 grand.
Yeah.
Or something crazy. Oh shit, my light went out. That's how long we've been live.
Here, no.
And,
go ahead.
And let me tell you something. I always joke around. I know this happens to you too, Goat, and Crew. It probably happens to you. When I sell something, almost every time,
Every time.
it goes up.
Yep.
So when I get the impulse to sell, I just don't do it. But then sometimes it goes down, and then I lose. I feel like I never win. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like this, and I'm just like,
Yep.
So
throwing darts.
Nexa, right? I got on Nexa day 0. I had the 4th biggest hash rate on Nexa for like 3 hours. All right. I sold my Nexa bag right before that big pump in April of 23. I would have had like $300,000 in Nexa.
oh,
Damn.
you know what? You guys really want to feel bad? Go ask
And
Panda about Cadena.
I sold it for like $4,000.
You want to ask? You want to really feel bad? Go ask Panda about what happened with his Cadena.
Oh, that's glorious. He could have been a millionaire.
Multi. Okay.
Right, but here's the thing: is why I just say I don't have regrets is because you did what you did because you thought you had. Other
It was all
opportunities.
lessons, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, the $180,000 that I spent when I got into mining and I completely FOMO'd in really early, I didn't know what I was doing, was the education I would have paid to get into, to get the experience that I wanted anyway. And then that experience coupled with Mining King, GPU Risers, and now Frank running, a hosting company that's going to be in 3 states, that's paid for it. You know what I mean? But it's not about, and this is what I tell everybody, like people oftentimes, and we can end with this because I know it's getting late, but people oftentimes, they get stuck in bad situations and then they get stuck in hell and they stay there, right? When you're going through hell. The problem is when you're going through hell, you have to keep on going because eventually you get out of it. And that's what happened with me. I just said, okay, well, I'm too deep already to stop. And if I stop now, I lose everything. So the odds are probably better if I just push a little further and just see what happens. And that's what happened with me. And it worked. And I think for most people, that'll happen that way.
And also, if you're selling, like if you made a profit, like I got $4,000 off of 2 weeks of Nexa mining in the biggest bear market we had. Like I did good. Now I didn't do really good, but I did good. Like that's not bad.
Yeah. And we all could have done better, but we all could have done a fuck lot worse.
We could have all invested in Nvidia stock in 2022 when we knew it was going to be good.
I did.
Or Tesla.
Oh,
No, I invested in Nvidia, and they paid for my Tesla. Thank you, Nvidia.
Yeah.
well, you better than me. I went for
Hey,
I went
thanks.
for TMSC.
Jellyfish coin paid for all my rebranding with the new Michael
Yeah,
Altman channel.
I did
Thanks,
well on
thanks,
that too.
Brandon.
Yeah, I made 10 SOL off that. That was great.
Yeah,
I'm
I
good
did
with
too.
small W's, man. Listen, I just recovered all the money that I lost earlier this year when I started Hawk in late 21, right? So, like, you know, it's the price of doing business. And to be an entrepreneur, to be somebody who just risk it all, essentially everything that I saved in cash, and try it. It takes a special person to do that. It's not meant for everybody. I'll be honest with you. I had a buddy who did it, and he just never got out of the rabbit hole that he went down after he lost his money. You have to be able to withstand the storm a little bit, and it just comes down to mindset. And you know, I'm gonna win no matter what. And those are the guys that make the differences. And you know, in this game, especially if you want to make a lot of money, you're gonna have to learn to dance in the rain, homie. Like, that's just how it's gonna have to be. Like, I'm serious. You can pull a Taylor Swift line right there, but it's true. Like, you're gonna have to learn to dance in the rain when shit gets bad. Just like in the bear market, people sell off part of their farms, and you know, companies are closing because no one. We built Terra in the bear market, so we're prepared for the next bear market. We know how to handle it now. We know how to navigate those waters. A lot of people didn't start that way. They started when things were up here. And that's that hot hand fallacy, and you got to learn to get out of that mind. So anyway, it's late. I got to go. It's after midnight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm good.
I appreciate it.
Guys, thank you all for joining tonight. Crewman, Fix It Timmy, Hot
for having
Crypto,
me.
guys, go subscribe to their channels. Thanks everybody for joining and watching. And Crewman, thanks for joining us tonight. It was
fun.
it was a really good episode for sure.
Later, guys.
All right, I'll see
Take
you
care, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
Like on the way
Peace
out.
I'm just sitting here.